Hi, hello. Hi, guys. Good evening. Samskruti, good evening. Shirisha, hi, Amma. Anish, thank you for coming. Sir, here we have changed the timetable. So, as on the date of leasing, I'm coming up with the hire purchase. Now, I'm going to start with the leasing, a very important topic, and awaiting con. And most of the students are waiting for this topic. So, most of the students have requested me to do this video at first. After discussing this one only, so discuss the further standards are they're asking. So for their request, I'm coming up with this one. So before going to discuss of this one, so there is a offer going on, ma. Just a second. So there is a Diwali offer going on with respect to the Diwali offers. So the discount of at the rate of 25% on all the recorded classes for the online, whether it is EO or regular classes or whatever it is. Is it everything fine? Video is clarity and audio is clarity. Yeah? If you respond, then I will continue the class. So, one second. Udbo, check whether the audio is clarity or not. Okay, guys. Okay, there is currently offer going on with respect to the Shikara tutorials on the occasion of Deepavali. So, the offer at the rate of 25% on all the recorded classes on the live as well as not only on the final, we are going to provide the discount on inter classes also. So this is one thing you need to remember. You have to use the coupon code Diwali 25, DIWALI 25. Thank you for this one. So now we can start the discussion of AS19, leasing, a very most important concept. The weightage of this concept is 7 marks plus 2 marks, so totally 9 marks. So first one is called as, we can discuss what are the concepts are included here first. So first one, definition of the lease, and second one is scope. What is the meaning of scope of any standard? Means non-applicability. So next, the special terms. What are the special terms in this standard you need to learn? Means lease term and the lease payments. So next one, type of the leases. In this standard we are going to cover two types of leases. First one is called as operating lease and financial lease. So second one, conditions for becoming a financial lease. We are having the totally 5 conditions, Amma. If any of the one condition is satisfied, we are going to call it as financial lease. So next we need to discuss about the accounting for financial lease and accounting for operating lease. Last but not least, a very important concept called as sale and leaseback. So first, as well as the first concept, we are going to start with the definition of the lease. So the very favorite example I have taken, the two favorite example related to the Tollywood. So one is the fellow called as DJ Dillu, another person is called as Radhika. The favorite bonding between the DJ Dillu and Radhika, a most favorite film was going on in Tollywood, is called as the DJ Dillu film name. Okay. In that film, we are having one hero and one heroine. Now, DJ Dillu is giving the house as a rent. So at the rate of how many years, Amma? 5 years. 5 years at the rate of rupees 1 lakh. 1 lakh for each year. Okay, now the Tilly is going to call it as owner, and the Radhika is called as what, ma? Tenant. So the owner in this standard is going to call it as lessor, and the tenant is going to call it as lessee in this standard. That means finally the person who give the rent is called as a lessor, the person who take the rent is called as a lessee. So here the 5 years is called as lease term, and 1 lakh is going to call it as lease rental or lease payments or minimum lease payments. Sabka malik ek hai. There is a slogan. So if there is like that, here also if we can call it as lease rental, lease payments or minimum lease payments. So all the same things. Now we are going to see the definition. You can understand now. A lease is an agreement whereby the lessor, who is the lessor, amma? A legal owner, conveys to the lessee what he will convey amma? Right to use the asset for a period of time. In return, the payment or series or payment. So now the lessor will give the rent and lessee will pay the series of payments in the form of consideration. This is called as what ma? Definition for the lease. So next we are going to see the scope. What is the meaning of scope, sir? Non-applicability of this standard. This standard applicable to all the leases except these three types of leases. So first one is called as if any person is taking the lease of natural resources. What are the natural resources we can take the lease, amma? Such as oil mines, gas, minerals. Not only this, there is a favorite film called as what ma? KGF. What is the meaning of KGF full form? Kolar Gold Fields. Okay, now there in that gold fields they will take the lease and they will dig the gold and they will sell the market. Not only these things, there is a coal mines. Coal mines also they will take the lease and they will dig the coal and they will sell. That type of leases will be considered here, will not be considered here, will not be considered. So based against. So next one, leasing agreements for the items such as motion picture films, video recordings, patents and copyrights. So generally, if you take the nowadays, we are going to use the copyright and we are going to pay the royalties for that. For example, imagine there is a person called as Udbhav. So Udbhav written a book, Na Savu Neen Chatta Neenenduku. Okay, the book name is Na Savu Neen Chasta Neekenduku. Okay, na that book is a favorite love story. There are one love story will be there. So that book is very famous. But I am taking a copyright from the Udbhav. What I will do means, I will print that book and I will sell in the market. For that I need to pay what ma? Royalty to the Udbhav. This type of lease is also will be considered or will not be considered, amma? Will not be considered. So the same like that, the motion picture films in olden days they will take the picture films to the rental basis. For that type of lease also will not be considered here. So next one, lease agreement to use the land. So in the olden days, if you see the villages, what we will do, ma? So the landlords will give the rent. The persons who are having the agriculture land, they will give the rent to the not having persons. Some example, Mr. A is. So Mr. A is having the agriculture lands, ma. Mr. B is what he will do, ma? He will do only the agriculture things and he will sell in the market. Now Mr. A will take the agriculture land, will give the agriculture land to Mr. B for agriculture purpose. So in return, what they will pay, ma? They will pay the consideration. So this type of lease also will be considered or will not be considered? Will not be considered. So what are the three types of leases will not be considered here? So first one is called as natural resources. Second one is called as what, ma? Giving the motion picture films, video recordings, patents and copyrights. And third one is called as lease agreement between the use of land. These three types of leases will not be considered here. So next we need to discuss about the special terms. If I am going in speed means nothing, amma. I am not writing anything. This PDF will be available after completion of this class in the given below link, or you can check through the Shikara Tutorials website from the free resources. So till now we have discussed about the definition and we have discussed about the non-applicability, and next we are going to see the important terms here. So first important term is called as lease term. Without the lease term there will be no leasing. For example, here in this example, DJ Tillu have given lease to the Radhika for how many years, amma? 5 years. This 5 years is nothing but non-cancelable period. For example, first one is called as that one only, amma. What is the meaning of non-cancelable? Initial agreement period is called as non-cancelable period. And then after, DJ Tillu have given an option to renewal for how many years, amma? 3 years. This 3 years is called as what, ma? Renewal period. The renewal period will be considered only in the case of two conditions are satisfied. What are the two conditions means? Condition must be availed at the time of inception of a lease. What is the meaning of inception of a lease, amma? At the time of giving the rent for 5 years, at that time only there is one condition should be mentioned. What is that condition, sir? If you want, we can renewal that particular agreement. If that particular, in that initial agreement only, if they mention the any condition means that condition plus second condition is called as what, ma? Both the lessor and lessee must be agreed for the extension. If these two conditions are satisfied, then only the renewal period also will be forming part of lease rental. So what I am saying, amma, Non-cancelable period means what ma? Initial agreed period. What is the meaning of renewal period? After completion of initial agreed period, whatever the renewal option given, if the renewal option is accepted by both the lessor and lessee, then only we can consider that as renewal period as a forming part of lease period, lease term. So next one. So here non-cancelable period means how many years amma? 5 years. Renewal period means how many years amma? 3 years. If both the conditions are satisfied, then only the renewal period will be forming part of what ma? Forming part of lease term. So next we are going to discuss about lease payments or lease rentals or minimum lease rentals. So the three names are same amma, nothing but lease payments. So we have to discuss the lease payments from the point of view of lessor and lease payments from the point of view of lessee. So first one is called as fixed lease rentals. So what is the meaning of fixed lease rentals? These fixed lease rentals will be a lease rental for lessor and will be a lease rental for lessee. For both the persons, the fixed lease rentals will be a forming part of lease payments. So I will discuss with some example number 1. So what is the meaning of here the lease rental means? The DZTLU have given a rent to Radhika for a period of how many years amma? 5 years. So the rentals of every year are as follows. First one is called as what ma? In the first year they have to pay 1 lakh, and second year also how much amma? 1 lakh, and third year also how much? 1 lakh, fourth year 1 lakh, and fifth year also how much amma? 1 lakh. Here total 5 lakhs will be considered as fixed lease rentals. Okay na guys? So these fixed lease rentals both in the hands of lessor and the lessee. And second one is called as what ma? Guarantee residual value. Before that we need to understand what is the meaning of residual value. Sir, here residual value means the value which was realized by way of selling the leased asset after the lease term. For example, here we have given how many years as a lease amma? 5 years. So after the lease term, okay na, we are going to sell that particular asset for 10 lakhs amma. For how many lakhs? 10 lakhs. So this 10 lakhs is called as what ma? Nothing but residual value. You may listen this residual value in the capital budgeting chapter or in the depreciation chapter also. What is the concept of this leasing? This residual value amma? Whatever the amount we are going to realize by way of selling that particular asset which we have taken as a rent. Okay nama. So that residual value, some of the part of residual value will be guaranteed by whom? Will be guaranteed by the lessee. So that one is called as guarantee residual value. As some of the part of that residual value will not be guaranteed by the lessee. That part is called as what ma? Unguaranteed residual value. So here what is the meaning of guarantee amma? Total what is the residual value we are going to get? 10 lakhs. In these 10 lakhs, 5 lakhs has given the guarantee and 5 lakhs has not given the guarantee. This 5 lakh is called as what ma? Guaranteed residual value, and this 5 lakh is called as what ma? Unguaranteed residual value. This guaranteed residual value only will be forming part of lease rental for in the hands of whom ma? In the hands of lessee, and in the hands of lessor also guaranteed. So both will take what ma? Guaranteed residual value as a lease rental in the both of lessor and the lessee. When coming to the unguaranteed residual value will be forming part of lease rental only in the hands of whom? Only in the hands of lessor. Guaranteed in the hands of lessor and the lessee. When coming to the unguaranteed, only in the hands of lessor. In order to understand this concept, I will take the example. So please wait a second guys. So here, when coming to the guaranteed residual value, what is the meaning of guarantee, sir? Guarantee given by the lessee, guarantee given by the lessor, guarantee given by the lessee. So here the house rent is equal to how much amma? 5 years at the rate of 1 lakh. So here given guarantee for residual value of rupees how much amma? 50,000 to ensure the proper usage. Why they will give the guarantee, sir? Because sir, here lessor will fix the amount of guarantee should be given by whom? Lessee. Because for example, if bike is mine, I am riding the bike means I will go a proper manner. Okay now, I will not cross the speed limits. I will put the helmet and all the things. Okay now, because the fine should not be happen and the accident should not be happen and the bike should be in a smoother manner. If the same bike I have given to my friend, how my friend will drive ma? my friend will drive in as ever he wish. For that reason, if he drive like that means the realizable value of asset will be there or will not be there? Will not be there. The scrap value will be less. For that reason, in order to ensure the proper usage, so the lessor has put the amount of restriction. So how much am I here? 50,000. What is the meaning of this 50,000? Guarantee residual value. That means, what is the meaning of guarantee residual value, ma? After utilizing that particular house property, if you want to sell that particular house property, how much amount we need to realize from the part credit? Minimum 50,000. If you are not going to realize means, who has to bear that loss, ma? The loss should be bear by whom, ma? Lessee. So here, what is the meaning of residual value? We are going to get after the completion of the lease term, before the completion of the lease term. We are going to get after the completion of the lease term. For that reason, what ma? The guarantee residual value will be given by lessee to the lessor at the end of the lease term, will also be forming part of lease rental for lessor and lessee. For example, what is the example we have taken, sir, here? First year, how much we are going to get? 1 lakh. Second year, 1 lakh. Third year, 1 lakh. Fourth year, 1 lakh. Fifth year, 1 lakh plus 50,000, which were guarantee given by the lessee. Okay, na? So at the last year, how much we are going to get, ma? 1,50,000. But every year, how much we are going to get? Only 1 lakh, because guarantee given by the lessee. This is also forming part of lease rental, both in the hands of lessor and the lessee. When coming to the unguaranteed residual value, will be forming part of only in the hands of whom? Only in the hands of lessor. So next, we have to discuss some more point. What is this next point, sir? Guarantee residual value given by whom? Independent third party. So residual value given by lessee means we will consider in the hands of lessor and in the hands of lessee. But when coming to the guarantee residual value given by whom? Independent third party. What is the meaning? How you will get the clarity of this picture? I will say. Once again, sir. So if you see the example of example 3, the guarantee given by whom? Third party. For example, iPhone purchased by whom? Mr. B. Purchased the iPhone from where? Amazon. Okay, na? Amazon have given the buyback offer. What is the buyback offers are here? After 3 years, Amazon will buy back the phone at the rate of how much? 20,000. What is the meaning of this one? After using that particular phone, okay, now after the 3 years, if you give to the Amazon, how much amount he is going to pay? He is going to pay the 20,000. This 20,000 is called as what, ma? Guarantee provided by whom? Amazon. So here the Amazon is called as third party or lessee, ma? Third party. So here Mr. B given lease to whom? Mr. A for how many years? 3 years. So in the first year, how much? 20,000. Second year, how much? 20,000. Third year, how much? 60,000. Okay, now here the lease rental means from the option of Mr. A. Who is the Mr. A? Mr. A is called as lessee. From in the hands of lessee, the lease rental means what, ma? Only 20,000, 40,000, 60,000. What is the total amount, ma? 60 plus 60, total amount is equal to 1,20,000 only in the hands of whom, ma? Lessee. But when coming to the lessor point of view, not only this 1,20,000, we have to add back what, ma? 20,000 as a lease rental. How much it will become? 1,40,000 in the hands of whom, ma? Lessor or lessee? In the hands of lessor, 1,40,000. In the hands of lessee, 1,20,000. Because that guarantee provided by whom? That guarantee provided by the third party. That guarantee not provided by the lessee. If the guarantee provided by Mr. A means that 20,000 also forming part of lease rental from point of view of Mr. A. Okay, now here from the point of view of Mr. B only how much, amma? 1,40,000. From the point of view of Mr. A is how much, amma? 1,20,000. That is only the note point. From the above guarantee given by whom, third party of rupees 20,000 will be included in the lease rental in the hands of whom? Lessor only, but not in the hands of lessee. I think did you get the clear picture about this one? Sir, what I am discussing, sir, means I am discussing the lease payments in the hands of lessor and in the hands of lessee. Normally, nowadays, if you see the outside world, the lease rental means same in the hands of lessor and the lessee. But when coming to the accounting point of view, the lease rental will be differ in the lessor hands and in the lessee hands. Okay, now when coming to the lessor hands, the fixed lease payments will be considered. Here also fixed lease payments will be considered. And next one, the guarantee given by the lessee. What is the meaning of guarantee they will give, ma? residual value. Okay, now that residual value, whatever the guarantee given by the lessee will also be forming part of, for lessor point of view, lessee point of view. When the guarantee given by whom, third party will not be forming part of lease rental in the hands of lessee, but will be forming part of lease rental in the hands of whom, lessor. So next one, when coming to the unguaranteed. So unguaranteed residual value will be forming part of only in the hands of whom? Only in the hands of lessor, will not be forming part of in the hands of lessee. This is the ultimate concept about the lease rental. Sir, what are the two things we have discussed, Ramma? First main point is called as lease term. What is the meaning of lease term, sir? Lease term means non-cancelable lease. What is the meaning of non-cancelable lease? Whatever the initial agreement of lease term is called as non-cancelable. So in this example, what is the initial year sum? 5 years is called as, initially they have agreed at the time of entering into the agreement. This 5 years is called as non-cancelable lease. Then after, Sir Tillu has given option to renewal of how many years, 3 years. This renewal period will also be forming part of lease term only if the two conditions are satisfied. What are the two conditions, Amma? First one is called as both the parties must be accepted. Second one is called as what, ma? That renewal condition should be mentioned at the time of initial agreement itself. If these two conditions are satisfied, then the lease term is called as non-cancelable lease plus renewal period. Next, we have discussed about the what, ma? Lease payments. What is the meaning of lease payments in the hands of lessor and in the hands of lessee? The simple. In the hands of lessee, fixed lease rentals, guaranteed plus unguaranteed. In the hands of lessee, what, ma? Sorry, in the hands of lessor, fixed lease rental, guaranteed, unguaranteed. In the hands of lessee, what, ma? Fixed lease rentals and guarantee given by whom, ma? Guarantee given by the lessee only will be forming part of lease rentals. So this is the most clarity you need to get in this section. Okay, na guys. Next, then after. So next, sometimes what they will do, ma? They will extend the lease term. This is called as what, ma? Renewal period. So when the renewal period will be forming part of lease rental, ma? When the two conditions are satisfied. Here the Tillu has given the renewal option for how many years, ma? 3 years, for at the rate of how much? 2 lakhs per annum. Okay, na? Initially, how many years they have given the rent, ma? 5 years. 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh and 1 lakh. So then after, they extended the period to how many years, 3 years, 6, 7 and 8. In the 6th year, 2 lakh, 7th year, 2 lakh, 8th year, 2 lakh. Okay, na guys. So this is also will be forming part of lease rental in the case of two conditions are satisfied. What are the two conditions? Both the parties need to accept it, and that condition must be presented at the time of inception of the lease. If that both the conditions are satisfied, then the lease payment means all this. If both the conditions are not satisfied, then the lease payment means what, ma? Only this 5 lakhs. Okay, naga. If the renewal period is accepted means lease term will be all. If the renewal period is not accepted means lease term is equal to how much, ma? Lease payments 5 lakhs. So this is the outermost clarity I have given. So these are the things we have discussed. So till now we have seen only the how many points, ma? 3 points. What are the 3 points we have discussed? First one is called as definition of the lease. Second one is called as scope non-applicability. Third one we have discussed about the special terms. So what is the meaning of definition? We know clearly. Lessor, lessee, there is a lease term, all the things. What is the meaning of non-applicability? What are the 3 things will not be applicable here? First one is called as lease agreement for the natural resources. Second one is called as motion picture, patent, goodwill. So next one is called as what, ma? Lease agreement to use of land. For these leases, this current AS 19 will not be applicable. Next one we have discussed about the lease term and what, ma? Lease payments. So next we are going to enter with the types of leases. So how many types of leases are there, sir? 2 types. So mainly first one is called as operating lease. Second one is called as what, ma? Financial lease. When we are going to call it as operating lease, sir, when the risk and rewards of the asset will not transfer is called as operating lease. So it is like a normal rental agreement. It is like a normal rental agreement what we have seen outside. When coming to the financial lease, when we are going to call it as financial lease, sir, when the transfer of risk and rewards of the asset takes place, it is called as financial lease. But as per our standard, we have to discuss how many conditions, 5 conditions. If these 5 conditions, any of the one condition is satisfied, we are going to call it as what, ma? Financial lease. Otherwise, we are going to call it as what, ma? Operating lease. So first and foremost condition is ownership. Sir, after the completion of the lease term, the ownership is transferring to the lessee means it is called as which type of lease, ma? financial lease. So that condition must be specified at the time of inception of the lease. Then only we are going to call it as what ma? Financial lease. Otherwise we are going to call it as operating lease. What is the condition? Ownership should be transferred to whom ma? Lessee. So if the lessor transfer the ownership of the asset to the lessee at the end of the lease term, then we are going to call it as financial. If you see here, so lessor has given option to transfer of asset at the end of the 5th year. It is called as which type of lease amma? Financial lease. And next one, purchase option. Sir, what is the meaning of purchase option, sir? Sir, here the lessor is giving the purchase option to the lessee at a price lower than the fair market value. At a price lower than the fair market value after the completion of the lease term. So if that condition is satisfied, then we are going to call it as what ma? Financial lease. So if the lessee has the option to purchase the asset at the price expected to be lower than the fair value and the lessee has accepted that option, it is called as which type of lease amma? Financial lease. So here Tillu given option to purchase the building at a price lower than the fair market value and the option was accepted by the Radhika. So if this condition is satisfied now, what is the type of this lease amma? This type of lease is called as financial lease. So next one, when coming to the lease term. Sir, what is the meaning of lease term, sir? If the lease term is a major part of economic life of the asset. Here the major part means how much amma? 75% of the economic life. So here what is the meaning of this one, sir? We will get a clear clarity by way of this example. So Tillu has given a rent for how many years amma? 5 years. The economic life of the asset. What is the meaning of economic life amma? The life of the asset is how many years? 8 years. Can you calculate the percentage here? So percentage means nothing but 5 divided by 8 into 100. That is equal to how much we are getting amma? 62.5. How much we are getting? Can you calculate, guys? So what is the calculation amma? 5 divided by 8 into 100. That is equal to how much? Students, if you answer, I will continue. So we are going to get 62.5% amma. So here the economic life, here the percentage is less than 75% or more than 75% amma. The percentage is less than 75%. For that reason, this particular lease is called as what ma? Operating lease. If it is a more than 75%, the particular lease is called as what ma? Financial lease. Are you getting the point? So we have discussed completely three points. Now we are going to see the 4th point. Before going to see the 4th point, now we need to understand what ma? We need to understand the 5th point first. What is the meaning of 5th one, sir? Specialized nature. What is the meaning of specialized nature? Means nothing but, so as you know, so my name is Bhanu. So I am going to take the rent from Bhaskar sir. From where ma? Bhaskar sir, this particular recording room. Okay na? But I have told certain specifications. What sir means? In this particular room, I need to have one swimming pool, sir. In that swimming pool, I need to have one shower. So like that, I have put certain conditions. If these conditions are met by the Bhaskar sir, okay na? These conditions, these specifications are doing by whom ma? Bhaskar sir. After doing that specification, then only he is giving to me, means it is called as what ma? It is called as financial lease. For example, we have taken this building. Before taking this building, this floor will be empty. Okay na? We are going to take one empty floor. After the taking the floor, we have made the partitions. Who have made the partition? Lessee is going to make the partitions. So that means this type of lease is called as what ma? Operating lease. If the partition is done by whom ma? If the partition is done by the lessor, okay, now after partition only we are going to take, means that type of lease is called as what ma? Financial lease. Are you going to get this concept? Yes. If the leased asset is of specialized nature such that only lessee can use without any major modification. So directly lessee can use without any major modification. That type of lease is called as what ma? Financial lease. So next we are going to discuss the most important point. What is that important point? Means the present value of minimum lease payments must be substantially equal to the fair market value of the asset. So at the inception of the lease, what is the meaning of inception of the lease, sir? At the time of starting of the lease, if the present value of minimum MLP means minimum lease payments substantially cover the fair market value of asset, then it should be what ma? Financial lease. So what is the meaning of substantially, sir? So here the substantially means, here also how much ma? 75%. Substantially means how much ma? Here also 75%. I will say you what ma? I will show you how to calculate the present value of minimum lease rentals first. So what is the example, Amma? From starting onwards, we are taking a same example. So how many years they have given the lease? 5 years. So what are the lease payments they will make every year? 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, like that. So what is the fair value, Amma? 4 lakhs. So discounting factor they will give. They will give the discounting factor at the rate of 10%. So first we have to take the year. So first year ending, second year ending, third year ending, fourth year ending, and fifth year ending. And next we have to take the lease rentals. Every year how much amount we are going to make the payment, Amma? So 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, and 1 lakh. So we have to calculate the present value factor for 10%. How we can going to calculate, ma? There is a formula called as what, ma? 1 divided by 1 plus R. Here the rate means for how much, ma? 10%. So that means 1 divided by 1 plus 0.1. That is equal to how much, amma? 1 divided by 1.1. 1 divided by 1.1. So if you do take the calculator and press 1 divided by 1.1 equal to 1 time. Okay, na guys, how much you are going to get? 0.909. And press again equal to how much you are going to get, amma? 0.826. And press again equal to how much you are going to get, ma? 0.751. And press again equal to 0.863. Again equal to how much? 0.621. Most of the students, you are coming from the group 1 means you don't know how to calculate. Simply remember how we need to do, ma? 1 divided by 1.10. If it is 11% means how we can do the calculation? 1 divided by 1.11. If the students are coming from the both the groups means they will understand. If the students are coming from only one group, appearing only one group means what, ma? What is the calculation? 1 divided by 1.1, 10 for 10%. 11% means 1 divided by 1.11. 12 means 1 divided by 1.12. If you press 1 time, 0. And again equal to, so like this we'll get. How we need to calculate the present values are means, so multiply the lease rent with the discounting factor. That means 1 lakh into 0.909. After that plus M plus. And next 1 lakh into 0.826. And again press M plus. Next 1 lakh into 0.751. Press again M plus. And next 1 lakh into 0.683. Again M plus. And 1 lakh into 0.621. Press again M plus. Then after at last what you need to press, ma? You need to press the MRC. Then we are going to get what, ma? 3,75,000. I think you have got the clear picture. This value is nothing but what, ma? Present value of minimum lease rental. What is the meaning of this one? Present value of minimum lease rentals. Here in this question, I have not taken any guaranteed residual value, unguaranteed residual value. If you are taking any guaranteed means, we should add this one also. Okay, na guys? So next one, that present value of minimum lease rental must be, we have to compare with ma? We have to compare with the fair market value. We have to calculate the present value of lease rental percentage on what? Percentage on fair market value. We have to calculate the present value of minimum lease rental percentage on what, ma? On fair market value. Generally, we are going to see all the most of times. So 25% on cost means how we will take, ma? 25% on cost means how we are going to take? Cost is equal to 100 like that, na? So we are going to take how much, ma? 25 divided by 100. So in the denominator, after on whatever the thing is there, that thing we need to mention in the denominator. So now also same, ma? Percentage of minimum lease rentals on fair value means fair value should be denominator and minimum lease rental should be on numerator. So what is the minimum lease rental we have got, ma? 3,79,000. So 3,79,000 divided by 4 lakh into 100. What is the percentage we have got? 94.75. That means this 94.75 is more than 75% or less than 75%, amma? More than 75%. For that reason, this lease is called as what, ma? Financial lease. Otherwise, if it is a less than 75%, then it is called as what, ma? Operating lease. Okay, na guys. So I am going to repeat once again these 5 conditions. In these 5 conditions, if any one condition is satisfied, we are going to call it as what, ma? Financial lease. Otherwise, it is called as operating lease. What is the first condition, amma? Ownership must be transferred after completion of lease term to the lessee. That particular condition must be mentioned at the time of inception of the lease. Okay, now next one is called as what, ma? Purchase option. There is a purchase option given by the lessor to the lessee at a in order to purchase that particular asset at a price lower than the fair market value of asset after the completion of the lease. So that was accepted by the lessee means it is also called as what ma? Financial lease. And next one, what is the meaning of lease term? The lease term must be forming major part of economic life. How we are going to call it as ma? Lease term divided by economic life into 100. So what is the lease term here? 5 years divided by economic life 8 into 100. That is equal to how much we are going to get ma? 62.5. This is less than 75%. For that reason we are going to call as this lease is called as what ma? Operating lease. So next one, present value of minimum lease rentals must be substantially equal to the fair market value of the asset. How we need to calculate the present value of minimum lease rental ma? First we have to take the years, lease rent, discounting factor and present value. These columns you need to remember. Year means 5 years, lease rental means what are the lease rent we are going to pay, and discounting factor how we have calculated ma? 1 divided by 10% means 1 divided by 1.1, so equal to 1 time, equal to second equal to third equal to fourth equal to fifth equal to. And then how we are going to get the present value ma? We have to multiply the lease rent with the discounting factor. We are going to this one. After adding all the this, what we are going to get ma? Present value of minimum lease rental. This must be substantially equal to means what we need to do ma? What is the percentage we have to write? Minimum lease rentals divided by fair value into 100. How much we are going to get? 94.75. So this is the more than 75%. For that reason, this is called as what ma? This is called as financial lease. Sir, once I doubt after completing the lease. What ma? I am not getting your doubt. Sir, here first condition is after completion of the lease term, so the lessor transferring to the lessee, what ma? Asset. If the lessor transfer to the asset to the lessee is called as what ma? Financial lease. Otherwise it is called as what ma? Operating lease. That condition must be mentioned at the time of starting of the inception of the lease. That's all. So what is the meaning of last one ma? Specialized in nature. That whatever the requirements is saying by the lessee, that requirements is done by whom? Lessor. After doing that requirements, then only the lessor giving to the lessee means it is called as what ma? Specialized in nature. It is also called as financial lease. So next one, at last we are coming up with a discussion. So this is the most important discussion, accounting for the financial lease. So first one in the books of lessor, the second one in the books of lessee, lessor and special terms. So first we are going to see the accounting treatment in the books of lessee, and then we are going to see the lessor and special terms. So the most important point in this section is, so if the lease rent is missing, how to calculate. Okay na guys. So first, accounting treatment in the books of lessee. It is same like a loan agreement amma. It is same like a loan agreement. So lessee means you know. Sir, here the lessor is nothing but creditor and the lessee is nothing but debtor. Okay na. Why we are going to call it as creditor, sir? It is like a credit purchase and credit sale of asset. So we are going to doing accounting in the hands of lessee means, in the books of lessee means, we have to think from whose point of view? Lessee point of view. We have to think from the lessee point of view. At the time of asset taken on the lease, asset taking means we are going to purchase amma. We are going to purchase the asset because it is called as which type of lease amma? Financial lease. But how we are going to pay the payments? We are going to pay the payments in the form of series of rents. Okay, now we are not going to pay the amount at a single time. We are going to pay the amount in the installment basis. So that means the lessor will wait or will not wait amma. Lessor will wait up to the completion of the 5 years. For that reason, for waiting purpose, what we need to pay ma? We need to pay not only the normal consideration, we need to pay the interest also. How to calculate the interest and all the things we can discuss. So here, what is the first entry amma? Asset account debited to lessor account. Why sir? So what is the normal credit sale of asset entry amma? So credit purchase of asset entry. So in the hands of lessee means we are going to purchase or we are going to sell. We are going to purchase. What is the journal entry for the credit purchase of asset amma? So asset account debited to creditor. Now who is the creditor ma here? Lessor. So what is the entry? Asset account debited to lessor. What is the value we need to write sir? Present value of minimum lease rental or fair market value, whichever is lower. So how to calculate the present value of minimum lease payments we have discussed. Okay, don't worry, we will discuss. We are going to discuss the problems also. Don't worry. So from the lessee point of view, what is the meaning of lease payments amma? Lease payments means lease rent plus guaranteed residual value. From the lessor point of view, we have to add the unguaranteed residual value is also a forming part of lease payments in the hands of lessor. Now we are discussing in which hands, amma? In the hands of lessee. Means what are the two things we need to consider? Only the lease rent and guaranteed residual value. When coming to the what we need to pay, ma? Every year end we need to pay the interest. Why we need to pay the interest, amma? We are purchasing the asset on a credit, but we are not going to pay the amount in a single term. We are going to pay the amount in the series of rentals. For that reason, the lessor has to wait. For that reason, we need to pay the interest. How to calculate the interest, we can see. So interest due entry first we need to write. Like the hire purchase, first which entry we need to write, ma? Interest due. So what is the meaning of interest due, ma? Interest due means nothing but outstanding interest. Can you say the outstanding expenditure entry? Outstanding expenditure entry is equal to expenditure account debited to outstanding expenses. So why we are going to use the outstanding expenses, amma? Because we are having a more than one person. For example, if the organization is not paying salary to the one employee, means he is not going to pay that particular organization will not pay the salary to remaining employees also. At that point of time, what is the entry we need to write, ma? Salary account debited to outstanding salary. Here the person means only one person is there, or more number of persons is there, ma? Only one person. For that reason, we are going to write the person name. So what is the entry, amma? Expenditure account debited to outstanding expenditure. But here we need to write what, ma? Interest account debited to lessor. We are not going to write the outstanding interest because here we are only having the one person. Are you understanding it? So next, nothing but he is a creditor. Next, at the end of the year, what we need to pay, ma? We need to pay the lease payments. So what is the entry for the lease payment to the lessor? Entry is equal to lessor is the receiver and cash comes in the goes out, amma, goes out. So what is the entry? Lessor account debited to cash. Here the lease payment is nothing but installment. Lease payment is nothing but what, ma? Installment. Here the present value of minimum lease payments is nothing but cash price. So if you record the fair value, it is called as cash price. If you record the present value of minimum lease payments, it is called as cash price. I think you understand the concept. You have to link this concept with the hire purchase somewhat. Then only you can understand the more logically. Otherwise, if you don't know the hire purchase also, you can remember. What is the first entry, amma? At the time of purchase of asset on the lease. So what is the entry, amma? Credit purchase of asset, the cash purchase of asset, amma. Credit purchase of asset. What is the entry? Asset account debited to lessor account. At the time of interest due, what is the entry? Interest account debited to lessor account. At the time of lease payments, what is the entry, amma? Lessor account debited to cash or bank. Now the asset belongs to whom? Lessee. So the person having the asset means what he need to charge, ma? He need to charge the depreciation. So what is the entry for the depreciation? Depreciation account debited to asset account. But the depreciation over the lease term or the useful life, whichever is lower. What is the meaning of this one, sir? So in the example, given example, the lease term is how many years, amma? 5 years. But the economic life is how many years? 8 years. Which is lowest means how many years we need to charge the depreciation? We need to charge the depreciation only for the 5 years. We should not have charged the depreciation for 8 years. So that thing you need to remember. Okay, na? Very, very, very important point. Next, at the end of the year, the depreciation and the interest are the nominal accounts. We need to transfer to which account, amma? P&L account. What is the entry? Profit and loss account debited to depreciation account to interest account. So these are the entries we need to pass in the first year. When coming to the next year, what are the entries we need to pass? We should not pass the first one because only one time we are going to purchase, but every time we need to write the interest dues, payment entries, and next one what, ma? Depreciation entry, and next one is called ma? Transfer of depreciation and interest to the P&L account. That means when coming to the next year onwards, we need to write what are the entries, ma? Second one, third one, fourth one, and fifth one. I think you are getting a clear picture in the hands of whom, ma? Lessee. So first we are going to compute one question from the answer in the point of view of lessee. After discussing that particular question, we can compute what, ma? In the hands of lessor about the financial list. So one thing, what is the value we need to record here? Lower of the present value of minimum lease payments and the fair value. So what is the meaning of minimum lease payments in the hands of lessee, amma? Lease rent plus guarantee. This guaranteed residual value we are going to get only at the time of initial, at the end of the year. Ma, guaranteed residual value we are going to get which place, amma? First year, second year, third year, or last year, amma? The residual value we are going to get only the last year. This thing we need to consider only for the last year. So with this example, you will get a more clarity. Okay, Namma. So we are going to solve this question. So from which books, Amma? In the books of who is the lessee here? Radhika books. We are going to do. So here, Dillu given the house rent for how many years, Amma? 5 years. Each year the lease payments are how much? 1 lakh. Can you say the fair value? Yes. What is the fair value, Amma? Here 4 lakhs. What is the discounting rate? 10%. What is the guaranteed residual value? 50,000. What is the unguaranteed residual value? 30,000. So here, now we are going to do the accounting as per the lessee, as per the lessor, Amma. As per the lessee. For that reason, what we need to do, Amma, we need to think from whose point of view? Radhika point of view. We need to consider only the residual value of guarantee. We should consider this one. We should not consider this one. Are you getting the point? So, what is the step number 1, sir? While doing the accounting, the step number 1 is called as, we have to prepare the 2 working notes first. First working note is called as whether we need to consider the fair market value of asset is the lower or minimum lease rental is the lower. So we need to find out, we are having the 2 values. They have given which value, Amma? The fair value they have given, we need to identify the minimum lease rentals present value. Can you say the columns so we can discuss? So you can write this one. You can write these details and you can participate with me. If you say the values, then only the class will be very effective. From now onwards, we are going to start the accounts. Okay, Namma. So you can take this screenshot and you can participate with me. So I am going to discuss first one. Working note number 1. Calculation of minimum lease rentals present value, or we can put the calculation of present value of minimum lease rentals also, no problem. So what are the columns? Can you say, Amma? Guys, what are the columns, Amma? First column is called as year. What is the second column, Amma? Hello guys, participate, Amma. First column is the years. What is the second column? Lease rental. What is the third column, Amma? Present value factor at the rate of 10%. What is the fourth column, Amma? Present value. Okay, now installments we should not write. We can write okay, no problem. Please follow this method. What is the first one, Amma? Year, lease rentals, present value factor, and next one is called as what, Ma? Present value. So how many years is taking the lease, Ma, here? How many years, Amma? 5. So we can write the 5 years there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Every year, what is the lease payments we need to pay, Ma? We need to pay 1 lakh. So write it there 1 lakh. So 1 lakh. Here also 1 lakh. Here also 1 lakh. 1 lakh. And 1 lakh. And next, what we need to calculate, Ma? And the last year, not only 1 lakh we are going to receive. We are going to pay what, Ma? Plus guaranteed residual value also we are going to pay. How much is the guaranteed residual value we are going to get, Ma? 50,000 is the guaranteed residual value we are going to get. So plus 50,000 we need to write for the last year. Residual value means last year only we need to pay. For that reason, in the last year only I am going to add this one. What is the meaning of this one, Ma? Guaranteed residual value. When coming to the unguaranteed residual value will be considered only in the books of whom, Ma? Lessor, not in the books of lessee. Now we are going to discuss in the which books, Ma? Lessee point of view. Can you calculate the present value factor and say, Ma? How to calculate the present value factor for 10%? What is the calculation, Amma? 1 divided by 1.1 press equal to how much we are going to get? 1 divided by 1.1 equal to how much we are going to get, Ma? 0.909. If you press again equal to how much we are going to get, Ma? 0.826 and again equal to 0.751 and again equal to 0.683. Guys, are you getting the same values? And press again equal to 0.826 6209 we are getting. So I am taking the 0.621. 09 I am getting. How much I am taking ma? 629. So how we are going to get the present value ma? So by way of multiplying the lease rental with present value. So what is the first present value ma? So how to calculate? 1 lakh into 0.909 and after that press M plus. So what is the value ma here? 90,900. What is the value ma? 90,900. How did we get the 90,900? 1 lakh into 0.909. And next one, and M plus. After that, 1 lakh into 0.826 M plus. How much amma? 82,600. 82,600. What is the next one amma again? 1 lakh into 0.751 M plus. How much amma? 75,100. And again 1 lakh into 0.683 M plus. How much amma? 68,300. Okay na guys. And next at last 1 lakh 1 lakh 50 amma last one. 1 lakh 50,000. So 1 lakh 50,000 into 0.621 M plus. How much amma? 93,150. So what is the total amma? So press MRC. How much we are going to get? 4,10,050. So this is called as total value. What is the meaning of this 4,10,050 amma? Is called as present value of minimum lease payments. So this value of 4,10,050 we need to compare with which one ma? We need to compare with the fair value. So what is the fair value given in the question amma? 4 lakhs. So 4 lakhs are 4,10,050. Whichever is lower amma? 4 lakhs. For that reason the first entry we need to write for which one amma? 4 lakhs only for the fair value. Okay na guys? So what is the first entry we need to write ma? Asset account debited to, who is the lessor here? DZLU. For that reason, asset account debited to DZLU account. How much we need to write ma? 4,10,050 or 4 lakhs? 4 lakhs. I think you are getting a clear picture. Okay na. And next we need to compute what ma? Interest in each installment. For that interest in each installment, here the interest we are going to call it as what ma? Lease finance cost. Here the interest is going to call it as what ma? Finance cost. So next, keep the working note number 2. Calculation of finance cost. What is the meaning of finance cost ma? Nothing but interest in each lease payments. This is called as working note number 1 or 2 2. Okay nama. So what are the columns we need to take, sir? Here the first column is year. The first column is called as what ma? Here. And next we need to take the opening balance. Opening balance. And next we need to take the lease payments. And next we need to take the finance cost. And next we need to write the principal. Sir, what is this meaning, sir? Ultimately, so how many years are there, sir? If you write, I will explain clearly, amma, no problem. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Sir, the opening balance you have to take what means? Whichever is lower, amma. What is the present value of minimum lease rental we are having? 4,10,050. What is the fair value, amma? Here the fair value is equal to 4 lakhs. Whichever is lower or higher we need to write. whichever is lower. What is the lower value? 4 lakhs. That value we need to take is the opening balance. That value we need to take is the opening balance. So the first entry, what is the entry we need to write ma? Asset account debited to lessor account. What is the entry? What is the amount we need to write there? 4 lakhs and 4 lakhs. The 4 lakh is nothing but total cash price. The 4 lakh is nothing but what ma? Nothing but, as per the higher purchase point of view, you can imagine like a CP. What is the meaning of CP amma? Cash price. So that means nothing but total principal, we can call it as total principal we need to pay. Okay na? Then after the lease payments, every year how much amount we are going to pay ma? We are going to pay 1 lakh. So 1 lakh here, 1 lakh here, and here also how much amma? 1 lakh, here also 1 lakh, and here also 1 lakh. Sir, here we should not consider the guaranteed residual value. The lease payments means here you need to consider only 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh. The balancing figure which we are going to get is called as 50,000. Okay na? That point I will explain at the last. Okay na? So now you need to charge the interest on principal amount on installment amount amma. We need to charge the interest on opening balance. So what is the opening balance ma here? 4 lakhs. So 4 lakhs into what is the interest, sir? Here interest means nothing but discounting factor at the rate of 10% they have given in the question. The same discounting factor we need to take for the present value, and the same discounting factor we need to take it as interest also. So can you calculate ma on the 4 lakhs what is the interest rate? So 4 lakhs into 10%, how much amma? 40,000 is the finance cost for the first year. So already, so this lease payments is nothing but what ma? This lease payment is nothing but installment. You know what is the meaning of installment ma? Principal plus interest. In this 1 lakh, the interest is equal to how much? 40,000. Can you say the principal? How we will get the principal ma? 1 lakh minus 40,000. So nothing but if you take this one A, B, C, D, how we are going to get the E? E equal to nothing but C minus D. Can you say the value amma now? The value is 1 lakh minus 40,000 is equal to 60,000. How much amma? 60,000. What is the meaning of 60,000 ma? Principal we have paid. Principal we have paid. That 60,000 we need to reduce from where ma? 4 lakhs. Can you say the balance opening balance? The balance opening balance is 3,40,000. What is the balance opening balance amma? 3,40,000. How we are going to get the D value amma? D value is nothing but B into 10%. D value is nothing but B into 10%. Can you say the finance cost now? 3,40,000 into 10%. How much amma? 34,000 is the interest. So now how we are going to get the E ma? E means nothing but what ma? Installment minus interest. So what is the installment value? 1 lakh. So can you say the 1 lakh minus 34,000? So 1 lakh minus 34,000 is equal to 66,000. This is the principal we have paid or we have not paid amma? This is the principal we have paid. So what is the actual balance before ma? 3,40,000. From this 3,40,000 already we have paid the 66,000. That means what we need to do? We need to reduce the 3,40,000, 66,000. How much we are going to get ma? 3,40,000 minus 66,000. That is equal to how much amma? 2,74,000. 2,74,000. Now we need to charge the interest on which thing ma? We need to charge the interest on 2,74,000. That is equal to how much amma? 2,74,000 into 10%, 27,400. Okay na guys? Now this is called as interest. We need to reduce from where ma? Installment. Can you say the value? 1 lakh minus 74,000. That is equal to how much amma? 26,000. 1 lakh minus, okay, just a second. 1 lakh minus 27,400. That is equal to 72,600. How much, amma? 72,600. This 72,600 we need to reduce from where, ma? 2,74,000. So 2,74,000 minus 72,600. That is equal to how much, amma? 2,01,400. Now on this amount 10% means how much, amma? 20,140. 20,140 we have paid the interest. So can you say the value, amma? Now principal 1 lakh minus 20,140, that is equal to how much, amma? 79,860 we have paid the principal. So 2,01,400 minus 79,860, that is equal to how much, amma? 1,21,540. On this 10% means 12,154. How much, amma? 10,154. So can you say the value, amma, now? 1 lakh minus 12,154, that is equal to how much, amma? 87,846. Now what is the requirement means? Nothing but these are all called as what, ma? Finance cost. 40,000 is the first year interest, 34,000 is the second year interest, so 27,400 is the third year, and this one fourth year interest, and this one is the fifth year interest. So what is the first entry we need to write for which value, amma? 4 lakhs. If in case sometimes we will get the present value of minimum lease rental as a what, ma? Lower value. At that point of time, which value we need to consider here? We need to start with that value. For example, if you get here 3,39,000 something, at that point of time, which value we need to start, ma? We need to start with the 3,39,000 like that. Okay, naga? So like this we need to get. Now we need to pass the entries. So what are the first two working notes you need to prepare while recording in the accounting treatment of the lessee, amma? First we need to calculate the present value of minimum lease rentals. What are the columns you need to take? Year, lease rentals, present value factor, and present value. This is the format is fixed. Then we will find out what, ma? Present value of minimum lease rentals. This thing we need to compare with the fair value. If the fair value is less, we'll consider the fair value. If the present value is less, we'll consider the present value. Now in this situation, which value is the less, amma? Fair value is the less in this situation. For that reason, what is the value we need to start with, ma? We need to start with the 4 lakh. What is the meaning of this 4 lakh? Nothing but cash price as per the hire purchase basis. We need to calculate the interest on the principal every year. So interest on the calculated on every year, we are going to reduce this principal we have paid in that particular year. So now we need to start with the accounting treatment. Now we can put the accounting treatment. Can I start, ma? Akash, Shishimurthy. So thank you for your participation. I am going to start the accounting. So accounting in the books of, so Radhika. Who is Radhika, amma? Lessee or lessor? Lessee. So we have to think from whose point of view? We have to think from Radhika point of view. So I'm going to write the entries for 2 years. So from next year onwards, you can write on your own. Okay, na guys? Okay, we can do the sum afterwards. I'm going to give the clarity. Okay, na guys? So what is the first entry, amma? We are going to purchase the asset. So you have to draw the format. What is the format, amma? Date, particulars, LF, debit amount and credit amount. For a neat and presentation, I'm going to draw the format. Okay, now what is the first entry, amma? We are going to purchase the asset from the lessor on a credit basis. What is the entry, amma? We are going to purchase the building. So building account debited to, who is the lessor, amma? DZ Tillu account. Can you say the narration? Being asset purchase, or we can say like that, being asset taken on finance lease. So if we take the asset on the finance lease, we have to assume as what, ma? Credit purchase of asset. Which value we need to write, ma? There we have to write the value is nothing but present value of minimum lease rental or fair value. Whichever is lower, ma? Now fair value. So this value only we are going to take that one as a opening balance. I think, did you get the point? So first entry was completed, amma. What is the second entry we need to write, ma? If you see the above accounting treatment, the second entry is nothing but interest due entry. Can you say the interest due entry, amma? Interest account debited to lessor account. Now who is the lessor in this point of view? Lessor is called as DCTLU. So what is the entry we need to record, ma, now? Journal entry to interest account debited to DZTLU account. So where we are going to get this interest, amma? We are going to get this interest from working note number 2. What is the first year interest? 40,000. So here how much we need to write, ma? 40,000 and 40,000. So being interest due on first year lease. And next, what is the third entry, amma? Third entry we have to write the lease payment entry. Third entry we have to write the lease payment. So if we are paying to for whom we are going to pay the lease rent, amma? We are going to pay the lessor. Who is the lessor here? DZTLU. So third one, cash comes in, goes out, amma? Goes out. So DZTLU account debited to cash or bank account. Every year, what is the lease rental, ma? 1 lakh. When coming to the last year, what is the lease rental? 1,30,000. 50,000, guys. So what is the meaning of this one? Being first year lease paid. Being first year lease paid. So these are the entries for the first year. And then we need to pass the interest to the P&L account. That is a normal entry you need to do. Can I do the second year, ma? So second year I'm going to continue. So third, fourth, fifth, you can do on your own, guys. Okay, na? So what is the fourth entry? From the fourth entry, we are going to enter into the second year. When coming to the second year, we have to write the interest due entry. We should not write the lease taken. So what is the interest due entry, amma? Interest account debited to lessor account. Who is the lessor, amma? DZTLU. Interest account debited to DZTLU. Can you say the second year interest from a working note number 2? So from the working note number 2, second year is equal to how much, amma? 34,000. So 34,000. So what is the entry, amma? Being interest due for second year. Being interest due for second year. Okay, great participation, guys. Thank you. So next, what is the fifth one, amma? We have to play the lease payments. So what is the entry, amma? DZTLU account debited to cash or bank account. Can you say the lease payments? Every year how much, amma? 1 lakh. But when coming to the last year, how much? 1,30,000 we have to write here. Remember, coming to the last year, how much, amma? 1,30,000. Being lease rent paid for second year. Okay, na, guys. So from the third, fourth, and fifth, you can write on your own. So what is the third year interest, amma? Can you see the third year interest? 27,000. 12,154. So like that you need to do ma. Okay na guys, is everything fine? Is same like a higher purchase first model we can going to call. This one is called as cash price, and these are the installments. Lease payments is nothing but what ma? Installments. From this we need to reduce the finance cost. We are going to get the principal. What is the meaning of this principal? We have paid or we have not paid? We have paid. For that reason we are going to reduce from this opening balance, and the remaining amount only we need to charge the interest. So these are the steps you need to remember in the books of whom? In the books of lessee we have discussed. Now we need to discuss from in the books of whom? Lessor. When coming to the lessor point of view, minimum lease rental is equal to what ma? So normal lease rent plus guaranteed residual value plus unguaranteed also we need to consider while writing in the lessor books. There are separate formulas we can discuss, no problem. So now I'm going to enter into the accounting treatment in the books of whom? Lessor. So in the books of lessor means who is the lessor ma? Buyer or seller? He is a seller. He will sell the asset on which basis? Credit basis. Can you see the entry for the asset sold on credit basis? Asset sold on credit basis, entry is equal to nothing but debtor account debited to asset account. So here the debtor, who is the debtor ma? Lessee account debited to asset. Which value we need to write here? Net investment. I will explain you what is the meaning of net investment, all the things. Okay na? So next, interest receivable or interest payable amma? Interest receivable. Can you see the entry for the interest receivable amma? Interest receivable entry is equal to interest receivable account debited to interest account normally. But here, normally why we are going to write the interest receivable ma? If we are having a more than one person means we are going to write the interest receivable. But here we are only having the one person. Who is that person? Lessee. So lessee is the debtor. For that reason we have debited. So lessee account debited to interest account. So next, after that interest due entry, what we have to write ma? Lease payments received. What is the entry for the lease payments received? Nothing but rent received. Cash or bank account debited to who will pay ma? Lessee will pay the amount. So cash or bank account debited to lessee. And next, interest we need to charge to P&L account. Interest is a income, will be transferred to P&L account credit side. What is the entry amma? Interest account debited to P&L account. So when coming to the next year onwards, we should not write the first entry. We have to write the second one, third one, and fourth one. Guys, am I clear? Everything? Is there any doubts ma? So first entry is called as what ma? Asset sold on credit. So lessee account debited to asset account. Second one is called as what ma? Interest receivable. Lessee account debited to interest account. Third one, we are going to receive the amount from the lessee. Cash or bank account debited to lessee account. And finally, what we are going to do ma? We are going to record the interest in the P&L account. Which side amma? In the P&L account credit side, what is the entry? Interest account debited to P&L account. So these are the points you need to remember. So now we are going to see one example. So the same example we have taken. What is the same example amma? 1 lakh for 5 years. When coming to the here minimum lease rental means we need to consider this 1 lakh and also 50,000 and also 30,000. But this 50,000 and 30,000 we are going to receive on which date? We are going to receive on the 5th year ending only. But every year we are going to receive how much amma? 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh up to 4 years. When coming to the 5th year, depreciation. Sir, for the depreciation we have not taken the rate ma. In this example, in the before example, there is no depreciation. For that reason, we are not going to charge. If there is any depreciation means we can charge easily. What is the entry for the depreciation? Depreciation account debited to building account. Easier, okay na. But how many years only we need to charge? Lease rental or value economic life, whichever is lower. Okay na. I will explain you, no problem. The depreciation we will take in the another question. I will also discuss not only these questions amma. I will also discuss the board material questions also. Okay na, no problem. Please wait. So here, what is the first one ma? Here we have to see the formulas. Nothing but without any formulas. Here the minimum lease rental means, sir, here lease rental means what we need to consider amma? Guaranteed residual value plus unguaranteed residual value. The lease rental plus guaranteed plus unguaranteed. Totally we are going to call it as gross investment. Totally we are going to call it as what ma? Gross investment. We have to bring all the values to the present value. We have to bring what ma? All the values. What are the which values? 1 lakh we need to bring. Every year 1 lakh we need to bring the present value. And last year 30,000 we need to bring the present value. And last year 50,000 also we need to bring the present value. Whatever, if you bring all this value into the present value, we are going to get what ma? Net value. We're going to get what ma? Net value. But this net value we should not compare with anything. Directly the net value, for that net value only we need to write the what ma? We need to write the entries. So here the net value is nothing but cash price. Net value is nothing but what ma? Cash price. So there at the point of time opening balance, which value we need to consider ma? Net value. The differences between this gross investment and net investment is called as unearned finance income. Sometimes in the question they will ask to calculate what ma? Unearned finance income. What is the meaning of unearned finance income ma? The difference between the gross investment and present value of gross investment only, nothing but net investment. So without any remembering these formulas also we can do the question. Okay, now what is the main point ma here? We should consider not only the guaranteed, we should also consider what ma? We should also consider the unguaranteed. So these 2 points will get only in the last year receivables. You need to remember that point. Okay na guys? So no need to remember this all the formulas also. Without any formulas we can do. Okay na guys? But here which value we need to record ma? Net investment. What is the meaning of net investment ma? Nothing but present value of minimum lease rental only. But here we should consider what ma? Unguaranteed present value also. But we should not compare with any fair value. Directly we should take that particular value. So that is only the important point here. So what is the step number 1 guys? So at the time of recording in the lessee books also, what is the step number 1? Present value of minimum lease rentals. So here calculation of net investment. That's all. Okay, Nama. So working note number 1. Even though if you don't understand this concept, now you will understand this concept. So calculation of net investment. So what are the columns amma? Same like present value of minimum lease rental calculation only, say the same like calculation, but only one thing is changed, what ma? Unguaranteed. So what are the columns we have taken there? Year. Second one is called as lease payments. Third one is called as present value factor at the rate of how much amma here also 10%. And next one is called as what ma? Present value. These are the columns you should not forget. Okay, Nama. So how many years we have given a lease? Same example, amma, same. So how many years, amma? 5 years. So year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4 and year 5. When coming to the lease payment, first year how much, amma? 1 lakh. Second year 1 lakh. Third year also 1 lakh. Fourth year 1 lakh. Fifth year what ma? 1 lakh plus guaranteed residual value plus unguaranteed residual value. So 1 lakh plus what is the guaranteed amma? 50,000 plus 30,000. So there in the lessee books we have considered only the 50,000. Now when coming to the lessor books we need to consider what ma? Unguaranteed also as a lease payments. That is only the difference. If you total all the things, how much value we are going to get ma? Can you say? 5,80,000. This 5,80,000 is nothing but what ma? We should not call it as minimum lease rentals. We should call it as what ma? Gross investment. We should call it as gross investment. Okay na guys? Is there similar format we follow? Like that only ma? Like that only format. Okay na? Wait. So we know how to calculate the present values. So how we can calculate the present value for 10% amma? What is the step we need to do 1 divided by 1.1 press equal to 1 time. How much we are going to get? 0.909. Yes or no, ma? And press again equal to 1 divided by 1.1 equal to and equal to how much, amma? 0.826. Press again equal to 0.751 and again equal to 0.683 and again equal to 0.621. 6209 I have got, 621 I have taken. So how we are going to get the present value, amma? What is the steps? 1 lakh into 0.909 m plus how much, amma? 90,900 and m plus 1 lakh into 0.826 m plus how much we are getting, amma? 82,600. So next again 1 lakh into 0.71 m plus how much, amma? 75,100 and next 1 lakh into 0.683 m plus 68,300. When coming to here, we have to take the 1 lakh 50 or 1 lakh 80 amma. So 1 lakh 80,000 into 0.621 m plus 1 lakh 11,780. If you press the MRC, how much value we are going to get, ma? 5 lakh 19,580 is right or wrong, ma? 5 lakh 19,180. So this 5 lakh 19,180 we should not compare with the fair value, amma. Directly we have to take this value only. Okay na? So 1 lakh 19,180 right or wrong, amma? 5 lakh 4 lakh 28,680. Yeah? Just a second, guys. 90,900 plus 82,600 75,100 plus 68,300 plus 1 lakh 11,780 4 lakh 28,680. Thank you, ma. So what is the value, ma, here? 4 lakh 28,680. What is the meaning of this one, ma? This is one is nothing but net investment. This value only we need to consider for the first entry. That means this value only is called as what, ma? Cash price. Okay, na, ma? So thank you, ma. Thank you, Pradeep. Funny. Okay, na? The differences between these two things is nothing but what, ma? So how much we are going to get? 5 lakh 80,000 minus 4 lakh 28,680. That is equal to how much, ma? 1 lakh 51,320. This is nothing but unearned finance income. This is nothing but what, ma? Nothing but we can call it as interest also. Unearned finance income. 99,400. No, ma. 5 lakh 80,000 minus 4 lakh 28,680. 1 lakh 51,320 only. So this is called as unearned finance income. Sometimes they will ask this calculation. So up to here is sufficient in the examination also. Okay, na, ma? So they will straight away, they will give the information and they will ask us to calculate what, ma? Unearned finance income. Up to this calculation is sufficient. Unearned finance income will be calculated only in the case of whom, ma? Only in the case of lessor books. Okay, na? Now we need to identify the interest in each year. So for that, which working note we need to do, ma? We need to do the working note number 2. So working note number 2. Calculation of finance cost in each lease payments. Calculation of finance cost in each lease payments. What are the columns we need to take, ma? First one year, second one opening balance. When come to the opening balance, which value we need to take, ma? Net investment in lease only. We should not compare with any fair value. And next one is called as lease payments. Next one, finance cost. Third one is called as principal. Called as nothing but what, ma? Principal. Okay, now what is the, how many years are there, ma? 5 years. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Can you say the opening balance, amma? Which value we need to take, ma? Opening balance? Sir, nothing but this value only. 4,28,680. So 4,28,680. What is the meaning of this 4,28,000? We can imagine as what, ma? Cash price. On this only we need to charge the interest. So can you say the installment sum? Nothing but lease payments. Here the lease payment is nothing but 1 lakh. Here also how much sum? 1 lakh. 1 lakh. Here also 1 lakh. So here if you want you can take the 1 lakh, or if you want you can take the 1,80,000. So I will take the 1 lakh only, or if you want you can take the 1,80,000 also, no problem. No problem if you take any amount also. Okay, now here we have to calculate the interest on which thing first? We have to calculate the interest on opening balance. What is the opening balance, amma? 4,28,680. So 4,28,680 into 10%, how much, amma? 42,868. 42,868. So reduce that particular interest from installment. So 1 lakh minus 42,868. That is equal to how much, amma? 57,132. 57,132. So this is the principal portion we have already paid in the installment. So for that reason we have to reduce from here. So how much we are going to get, ma? Minus 4,28,680 minus 57,132. That is equal to how much, amma? That is equal to 3,71,548. Now on this we need to calculate the 10%. So into 10%, that is equal to how much, amma? 37,155. I am rounding it off. 37,154.8 I have got. So 37,155 we have taken. So this is called as interest. Reduce from the installment. So 1 lakh minus 37,155. So that is equal to 62,845. This is the principal we have already paid in the second installment. So how much we are going to get, ma? 3,71,548 minus 62,845. That is equal to how much, amma? 3,08,703. Now on this amount we need to calculate the interest. How much we are going to get? 30,870. So reduce that 30,870 from 1 lakh. That is equal to how much we are getting, amma? 69,130. So reduce this amount from which thing, amma? 3,08,703. So 3,08,703. That is equal to how much, amma? 2,39,573. On this amount we need to charge what ma? Interest. So 10%. So 23,957. So 1 lakh minus 23,957, that is equal to 76,043. Okay now. Reduce this amount on 2,39,000. 2,39,573 minus 76,043. That is equal to how much amma? 1,63,530. 1,63,530. So into 10%, how much amma? 16,353. So 16,353. You have to reduce from 1,80,000 amma. 1,80,000. 1,63,647. So this is the principal you have already paid. If you reduce from 1,63,647, around it will be 0. Okay now. Sir, before that, why it was not equal to 0 means you have taken here only how much amma? Here while recording, while calculation here, we have got not the 0 means you are taking here only how much? 1 lakh. If you take here 1 lakh, how much amma? What is the guaranteed value? 50,000. So it will be fine. Okay na? So no problem ma. The calculation is right only, no problem. So now we have got the interest also. Now easily, what is the first installment interest amma? 42,868. What is the second installment interest? 37,155. Third one 30,870. Fourth one 23,957. Fifth one 16,353. Are you getting the point ma? So we can write easily amma. So now we can write easily the entries. So what is the first entry? How much amount we need to record? Net investment. What is the amount amma? 4,28,680. So now accounting we have going to done. So accounting, in the books of Dizetillu. Who is the Dizetillu amma? Lessor. Now we have to think from whose point of view? Lessor point of view only we have to think. Okay na? So what is the format of the journal amma? Date, particulars, LF, debit amount, and credit amount. Or no, I am not going to write the headings. For a presentation purpose I am writing. In the examination also you have to draw the format, otherwise they will not give the marks ma. In the rough manner you should not write. For that reason I am writing. So can you say the first entry amma? What is the meaning of here? Lessor means he will sell the asset, he will purchase the asset amma. Sell the asset on a credit basis. Can you say the entry for the credit basis amma? So asset goes out and debtor is the receiver. Who is the debtor here? Lessee. Who is the lessee amma? Radhika. So Radhika account debited to, what is the asset amma? Building account. So which value we have to write ma? Net investment in lease. Can you say the net investment in lease ma? This value only na? 4,28,680. So 4,28,680. 4,28,680. Okay na guys. So what is the narration we need to write ma? Being building given on financial lease. Being building given on financial lease. Sir, why are you saying in that much slow manner? Because this is the first sum I am saying in that much slow manner. Okay na guys. You want to understand the leasing first of all. Okay na. So next one. What is the next one amma? Interest receivable, interest payable amma. Interest receivable for the first year. Can you say the entry for the interest receivable ma? So interest receivable account debited to interest. From where we are receiving? From the lessee. Who is the lessee? Radhika. So Radhika account debited to Radhika account debited to interest account. Can you say the first year interest ma? By way of seeing which one ma? Working note number 2. What is the first year interest? 42,868. 42,868. Okay, now what is the narration number? Being interest receivable on first year lease. I'm going to extend this one. Here also I will write for 2 years summa. From next year onwards you have to write. So what is the last one amma? We are going to receive the lease payments, we are going to pay the lease payments. We are going to receive the lease payments. What is the entry amma? So third one, cash or bank account debited to. From whom we are receiving amma? Radhika. In there is a Telugu, one word is called as Radhika. Radhika means not come. So there is a name, beautiful name, we should not pronounce like that. So how much amount we are going to receive? 1 lakh. So what is the narration number? Being first year lease received. So these are the entries we need to write for the first year. From second year onwards, first entry will be there or will not be there amma? Will not be there. Second entry what ma? Radhika account debited to interest. What is the interest amma? 37,155. And what is the lease payment for the second year? 1 lakh. So like that we need to see. So I will write the second year also, no problem. What is the format ma? Once again, date, particulars, LF, debit amount and credit amount. So this is the fourth entry. Fourth entry from which year onwards amma? Second year. Okay na? So there is no sale entry, directly interest to due entry amma. So Radhika account debited to interest account. Can you say the second year interest ma? 37,155. 37,155. Being interest receivable on second year lease. So what is the next entry amma? We are going to receive the second year leases. So what is the entry amma? Cash or bank account debited to. Who will pay ma? Radhika account. How much amma? 1 lakh. Third year 1 lakh. Fourth year 1 lakh. When coming to the last year, how much amma? 1,80,000. So guaranteed plus unguaranteed. Being second year lease rent received. Okay nama? So for 2 years I have recorded 3, 4 and 5. You can record only 1. Okay na guys? So we have completely discussed about the financial lease accounting treatment from in the books of lessor, in the books of lessee. In the books of lessee, we need to consider only the guaranteed residual value. We should not consider the unguaranteed residual value. So we have to calculate the two calculations separately. Okay na guys? So when coming to the lessee books, we will record minimum lease rental or fair market value, whichever is lower. Whatever the lower value we have got, that thing will take the opening balance. Okay, Nama. So next, when coming to the lessor point of view, we have to record what, ma? We have to record the net investment. What is the meaning of net investment? Present value of all the lease rentals, present value of guaranteed residual value, present value of unguaranteed residual value. We are going to add back all this, means what we'll get, ma, initially? Lease rental plus guaranteed plus unguaranteed, we are going to get the net investment. We are going to get the gross investment. That gross investment present value only we are going to call it as what, ma? Net investments. The difference between the gross investment and net investment, we are going to get what, ma? Unearned finance income. So we know what are the entries we have to write there and what are the entries we have to write here. So completely we have discussed about the financial list. So, and what are the questions they will give, we need to see. Just a second. So before that, we need to discuss the special points. So this is the special point, is very, very, very important. There is a special question on this. We are going to solve this question first. Okay, now what is the missing, ma, here? Here missing the lease rent is missing. Which one is missing, ma? Lease rent. Generally they will give the lease rent. 1 lakh they have given, na? Generally they will give. Sometimes they will not give the lease rent. At that point of time, we need to identify the lease rent and we need to write all these entries. Okay, now. So how to identify, sir? Here there is a one assumption. We have to assume that fair value of asset. Sir, the financial, if the finance, we should call it as financial, means what is the one condition, ma? Present value of minimum lease rentals must be substantially equal to what, ma? Fair market value asset. Do you remember that condition? In the same way, the fair value of asset is equal to what, ma? Present value of minimum lease rentals. What is the meaning of minimum lease rentals, ma? Lease rent received, okay, na? Plus guaranteed residual value. Lease rent received plus guaranteed residual value. This amount they have given, they have not given. They will not give this one. So we need to identify. So they will give the present value of unguaranteed residual value. They will give the present value of unguaranteed residual value. Here in the case of minimum lease rentals, what is the thing will be included? Including GRV. What is the meaning of GRV? Not the RGV, ma. GRV. GRV means guaranteed residual value will also be forming part of what, ma? Will also be forming part of present value of minimum lease payments. What is the meaning of here present value of minimum lease payment? Means nothing but lessee books we have done, na, that one. Okay, now that thing is missing, available, that thing is missing. So this formula you need to assume. So they will give the fair value of asset and they will give the present value of unguaranteed residual value. Then what they will get, ma? Will get the present value of minimum lease rentals. Will get what, ma? Present value of minimum lease rentals. But what is the thing we need to find out? We need to find out the lease rent per month, per annum. We need to find out the lease rent per annum. That means if you imagine this one, so here 1, 2, 3. We'll take what, ma, here? Lease rentals. We'll take what, ma, here? Lease rent. 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh. Imagine 1 lakh plus 50,000 here. Okay, na? Normally 5 years we have taken example. Now make that 5 years as 3 years, amma. At that point of time, what is the format, amma? Calculation of present value of minimum lease rental, what is the format? Here, lease rent, discounting factor, present value. Yes or no? We don't know these values. Here, in the last year, which is including, amma, GRV also including in the last year. Okay, now we know the present value factors. Okay, now for 10% means 0.909, 0.826, this one. So after adding all this, whatever the value you have got now, this is called as annuity factor. This is called as what, ma? Annuity factor. Now we don't know this all sum, ma. We don't know this value. We know which value, ma? We know the present value of minimum lease rentals. If you know this one, if you divide it by this one only, we'll get this value. Okay, now we should not apply what, ma? Divided by 3 like that. We should apply what, ma? We should apply the annuity factor. Present value of minimum lease rental divided by the annuity factor. Then we are going to get what, ma? Minimum lease rentals. Nothing but lease rental per annum. So what is the formula we need to remember? So what is our assumption, amma? Our assumption is fair value of asset is equal to present value of minimum lease rental plus present value of unguaranteed residual value. They will give this value and they will give this value. We are going to get this one. Okay, now. So this one divided by annuity factor, we are going to get the annual lease rental. We are going to get what ma? Annual lease rental. Annuity factor they will give in the examination, no problem. This value also they will give in the examination. This value also will give in the examination. How we are going to find out this one? Easy amma. Present value of minimum lease rental is equal to fair value of asset minus present value of unguaranteed residual value. We are going to get this one divided by annuity factor. We are going to get the annual lease rental, and remaining all the things are same. So how, sir? Can you explain with some example? I will explain. So what is the logic for this formula? This one. So we should not remember the logic. We have to remember the formula. Okay now. So how we have got that formula? I have explained you. So just a second, guys. Not this one. So this is the value. This is the question. Illustration number 2 from the board book itself. If you want, you can see the board book. If you want, I will send this material after discussing all this thing. Okay, now guys. So till now you have completed the financial lease, accounting treatment in the books of lessor, and accounting treatment in the books of lessee. Now we are going to find out some of the important question number 2 from the board book. What is the missing figure? What is the missing figure there? We need to find out the lease rental per annum. So if you see this question, you can solve easily. Vishnu Limited leased a printing mission from Guru Limited. So we can take the Vishnu Limited is what ma? Lessor, and Guru Limited is called as what ma? Lessee. For a period of how many years amma? 3 years. The useful life of the printing mission is known to be how many years amma? 5 years. It was agreed between the lessor and the lessee that the amount will be paid in 3 installments at the termination of the lease. The Guru Limited will take back the said mission. Sir, they will take back the said mission means there is no sale value. Here the Guru Limited take back the asset means they are going to take They are going to take the asset means it is a type of which kind of lease? We can take it as financial lease. But while proving that financial lease, we have to follow separate method also. We can see the following details are available in respect of the mission lease. First one, cost of the printing mission they have given. How much? 15 lakhs. Unguaranteed residual value at the end of the lease period, how much amma? 2 lakhs. They have given the unguaranteed residual value present value. They have given the unguaranteed residual value. They have given only the unguaranteed residual value. They have not given the present value of unguaranteed residual value. We have to find out. We know the fair value of the mission. How much amma? 15 lakhs. So if you know the fair value of mission minus present value of unguaranteed residual value, what we can know ma? We can know the present value of minimum lease rentals divided by annuity factor given in the question. How much amma? What is the annuity factor amma for 3 years? 2.4868. What we are going to get? We are going to get the lease rentals per annum. So the initial rate of return is how much? Here also 10%. The internal rate of return is 10%. State whether the lease is a financial lease or operating lease. We can confirm by way of using the what ma? By way of using the fourth condition. What is the fourth condition? Means the present value of minimum lease rentals must be substantially equal to the fair value. By way of using that particular situation, we can find out. So how we can find out the present value of minimum lease rentals? First you need to find out the lease rentals per annum. Then only we can find out the present value of minimum lease rentals. Or how we can find out? Can you say? Easy amma. By way of using that formula only we can find out the present value of minimum lease rentals. That thing we can compare with the fair value. Then we can easily say whether it is a financial lease or operating lease. So what is the they are saying amma? Asset in the unearned finance income. What is the meaning of unearned finance income? We need to find out the gross investment in lease and net investment in lease. The difference between the gross investment and net investment is called as what ma? Unearned finance income. I will explain you, no problem. So first we are going to see whether it is a operating lease or financial lease. Okay na guys? I'm going to rub all things. What is the first question? First one they asked whether it is operating or finance. calculation of present value of minimum lease rental. So what is the formula for calculation of present value of minimum lease rental when there is no lease rent per annum means? So we know assumption. What is the assumption, amma? Fair value of asset equal to the present value of minimum lease rental minus, I'm sorry guys, plus present value of unguaranteed residual value. So can you say the fair value of asset, amma? They have given in the question. What is the fair value of asset they have given in the question, amma? 15 lakhs. 15 lakhs. So that is equal to 15 lakhs equal to, we have to find out the present value of MLP. MLP means minimum lease payments plus, can you say the unguaranteed residual value given in the question? The unguaranteed residual value for the period is equal to how much, amma? 2 lakhs. So 2 lakhs we need to multiply with the factor. They have given in the question, amma. What is the third year factor? 0.7513. So if you multiply this one, then only we are going to get what, ma? Present value. 0.7513. Are you getting the point? So now we can easily calculate the present value of MLP. How we can find out, ma? 15 lakhs minus, if you multiply 2 lakhs into, so what is getting, amma? 2 lakhs into 0.7513. 1,50,260. That is equal to present value of MLP is equal to minus 15 lakhs. So 13 lakhs 49,740 is called as present value of minimum lease payments. Sir, what is the formula, amma? This thing we need to compare with. We need to apply the percentage of fair value. So now we know easily percentage of present value of MLP, minimum lease payments, on which one, mama? Fair value. So on means denominator or numerator, amma? No, denominator. So what is the value, amma? 13,49,740 divided by how much, amma? Divided by 15 lakhs is the fair value. So divided by 15 lakhs into 100. That time how much we are going to get, ma? Divided by 15 lakhs into 100. That is equal to 89.98 percentage. Sir, this is more than 75% or less than 75%? This is more than, greater than 75%. For that reason this is called as what, ma? Financial lease. So here conclusion. What is the conclusion, ma? The present value of MLP. What is the meaning of MLP, amma? Minimum lease payments is more than 75% of fair value, then the lease is called, financial lease. Then the lease is called as what, ma? Financial lease. And next we are going to find out unended finance income. Yes or no? How to find out the unended finance income? First we need to get the what ma? We need to get the gross investment. In order to get the gross investment, we need to identify the lease rent per annum. We know the lease rent per annum formula. If they're given like that, we need to divide it by whom? Annuity factor. Yes or no? So second one, B option. Calculation of unearned finance income. How we can get the unearned finance income? So differences between gross investment minus present value of gross investment you can write, or net investment you can write. So in order to find out both the things, what we needed, we need a lease rental per annum. So how to find out lease rental per annum? Lease rent given or not given? Not given. So lease rent per annum is equal to present value of MLP divided by PVIF. PVIAF. What is the meaning of PVIAF? Means present value of annuity factor. PVAF divided by present value annuity factor. They are given in the question or they have not given, amma. They are given the present value annuity. What is the meaning of annuity? If you add all the present value factors, we are going to get the annuity factor. That's all. So what is the annuity factor they have given in the question, amma? 2.4868. No need to calculate, ma. They will give all the things in the question. Okay, na? So can you say the present value of MLP? We have find out it here. 13,49,000. 13,49,740 divided by, what is the factor, ma? 2.4868. 2.4868. That is equal to how much, ma? Can you see the guys? 13,49,740 divided by 2.4868. That is equal to 54,276,1. That means what, ma? 5,42,761 is the per month lease. Okay, if you know the per month lease, easily you can calculate, ma. Easily what you can calculate? You can calculate the gross investment and net investment. The difference between the gross investment and net investment only is called as what, ma? Present value factor. Or without this also you can find out, no problem. Present value annuity factor plus present value of unguaranteed residual value. Okay now. So but we need to find out the gross investment. For that reason we want this one. Okay now guys. Okay. So we have to identify the unearned finance income. Can you see the columns? Same like here only, yeah? Here. And next one is called as what, ma? Lease payments. And next one is called as what, ma? Factor. Present value factor at the rate of 10%. And next one, present value. The same boxes, amma. The same boxes we need to. There we have, normally they will give the lease payments. Now we have find out at the lease payment. How much? 5,42,761. So 5,42,761. That's all. So how many years, amma? 3 years. 5,42,761. 5,42,761. The last year we have to write what, ma? Unguaranteed also. Last year what we need to find, write, ma? Unguaranteed. So what is the present value of 10%? So 1 divided by 1.1. 10% only, yeah? Let us check once. 10 only, no problem. So how many factors they are taking, ma? How many fraction digits they were taken? 4. We have to take the 4 here also. So 1 divided by 1.1 equal to, so 0.9090 equal to 0.8264, and again press the equal to, or you can take that value also, 0.7513. There also same value, amma, 0.7513. So 0.7513, here also the same value. So you have to multiply with these things. So how much we are going to get, ma? So how much we are going to get? 5,42,761 into 0.909 m plus how much, amma? 49,336. Or I am going to take the 6970. Okay, m plus 5,42,761 into 0.8264. How much, amma? 3,94,261. And at last, what are the things we need to add, ma? 5,42,761 plus 2 lakhs into 0.7513. 5,58,036 plus MRC. What is the amount we are going to get, ma? Can you say the total of this one? Anybody? How much, amma? 493370 plus 394,261 plus 558036 is equal to how much, amma? 14,45,667. If you do the total of all these things, how much we are going to get? 5,42,761 into 3 plus 2 lakhs. 18,28,283. So this is called as which term? Which one, amma? Gross investment. And this is called as what, ma? Net investment. So normally they will give the lease rental, but in this question we have got the find out. We have the find out one. Second one wrong. 5,42,761 into 0.8264. Okay, guys. How much, amma? 4,48,538. So can you see the total? Guys, can you see the total, ma? Funny. Four lakh 90,370, 4,48,538, 4,48,538 plus 4,93,370 plus 5,58,036, 14,99,948, 14,99,944. So what is the difference between these two, amma? Minus 18,28,283. So the difference between these two is 3,28,339. This is called as unearned finance income. This is called as what, ma? Unearned finance income. Okay, na guys. So what is the difficulty in this question? They have not given the lease rentals per annum. We have find out the lease rentals. How we are going to find out the lease rentals, ma? There is a equation we have discussed there. So we know the which one, ma? We know the fair value of asset and we know the present value of unguaranteed residual value. If you do the fair value minus present value of unguaranteed, what we are going to get, ma? Present value of lease rental divided by annuity factor. What we are going to get, ma? Annual lease rentals only. So same that formula we have done. How much we have got? 5,42,261. So this 5,42,000 every year. At last we need to add the unguaranteed also. By of adding all this, what we are going to get, ma? Gross investment. So if you do the present value of these things, we are going to get the net investment. So the differences between these two is called as unearned finance income. What is the first step we have done, ma? Whether this is a financial lease or operating lease, we need to find out. So how I have find out, ma? The present value of minimum lease rental we have compared with the fair value. If it is a more than 75% means how much we have got? 89.98, nothing but almost 90%. For that reason, this is called as which type of lease, ma? This is called as financial lease. So like that, I have completed which one, ma? I have completed the total discussion about the fair market value. So nothing but financial lease. So same on that, we are going to have what, ma? So we are going to have the sums. You can practice these things. So same model, you can practice question number 7. Question number, I will send this PDF also, or these questions are board book only. Question number 6 and question number 5 also you can solve easily, and question number 4 also you can solve. I have discussed the question number 2 and I will discuss question number 1 and question number 3 also. Okay, na guys. So this is the total discussion about the financial lease. If they will give the rate as 14.97%. How we can find out the 14.97 while taking the fractions means divided by 1.1497 you have to take. 1 divided by 1.1497. If it is a 10% means 1 divided by 1.10 na. Same like that 14.97% means so 1 divided by 1.97 you have to mention. Okay, na? If there is a time permit, I will explain this thing also, no problem. So, and next I am going to discuss about the operating lease. So, interest rate meeting is nothing, don't worry, amma. Operating lease. When coming to the operating lease, it is same like a rent paid and rent received. What is the rent paid entry, amma? Normally, rent account debited to cash account. What is the rent received entry, amma? Cash account debited to rent account. The same like that problem. But here, the accounting in the books of lessor, at the time of rent received, what is the normal rent received entry? Cash or bank account debited to lease rent income account. But why you have taken the lease equalizations are here? I will explain, no problem. But as per AS 19, suggest what, ma? Book the lease rent on which basis? SLM basis, straight line basis, unless only other basis is appropriate. So I will explain you, no problem. At the end of the year, who need to charge the depreciation? Lessor. Because in this situation, who is the owner? Lessor is the owner. What is the entry, amma? So depreciation account debited to asset account. At last, depreciation need to be transferred to PN. So what is the entry? PNL account debited to depreciation. So next, the transfer of income to the which one, amma? PNL account. So rent income account debited to PNL account. So normally the entry is called as what, ma? Cash or bank account debited to rent. So next, accounting treatment in the books of lessee. What is the entry, amma? Rent paid or rent received? Rent paid. So lease rent account debited to cash or bank. Why you have taken one, I will explain you, no problem, please wait. So next one, transfer of rent to which one, amma? PNL account. Rent account debited to PNL account. There extra what the lessor will charge? Depreciation. What is the entry? Depreciation account debited to asset account. The depreciation need to be transferred to PNL account. So PNL account debited to depreciation. Here in this case of operating lease, who is the owner? The owner is nothing but is called as what, ma? Lessor. For that reason, who will charge the depreciation? Lessor. When coming to the financial lease, who is the owner? Financial lease, lessee is the owner. For that reason, who will start the depreciation? Lessee will start the depreciation there. Okay na? So I will explain you, no problem. Here I am going to take the example. Sir, Tillu and Radhika, who has given the rent ma? Tillu has given the rent for 5 years on operating lease basis. On which lease basis ma? Operating lease. Okay na? So first year rent is 1 lakh, second year 1 lakh 10,000, third year 1 lakh 20, 1 lakh 30, 1 lakh 40, like that. So what is the total rent amma? 6 lakh. Sir, these rents are same or different? Same. Different. So 1 lakh, 1 lakh 10, 1 lakh 20, like that. Even though it is different, we need to take on which basis amma? SLM basis. How we can take my SLM base means the total of rent divided by how many years amma? The total years is equal to 5. So divided by 5, what we are going to get? 1 lakh 20,000. So every year how much amount need to be recognized as income is equal to 1 lakh 20. So this is called as which basis amma? SLM basis. Even though actually you are going to receive 1 lakh, you need to recognize how much? 1 lakh 20,000. At that point of time, how the entries will be recorded, I will explain you. Okay, now please wait. Okay, what I am saying ma, even though if you receive 1 lakh, 1 lakh 20, 1 lakh 30, whatever if you want you can receive. But total all this rent, okay now, on which basis we need to give ma? On a similar amount basis. So every year we have to pay the similar. As per accounting point of view, 1 lakh 20,000. Normally if you want you can take as your wish. As your wish. So total the rent divided by total years, we are going to get what ma? 1 lakh 20,000. Now we need to make the accounting entries in the books of lessor and in the books of lessee. How we need to pass, whether we can see amma. Here also I will explain how many years amma? 2 years, and remaining 3 years you have to do. Okay na? So no problem. I will explain only the rent entry. I am not going to explain the depreciation because here there is no depreciation. Like average, sir. Like average only we can do. Okay, now average means SLM. The same amount should be there every year, like that. So you will get the clarity. Please wait a second. So first we are going to see what ma? Accounting in the books of, who is the lessor ma? DJ Tillu is the lessor. Lessor is going to receive the amount or going to pay the amount amma? Going to receive the lease payments. So normally in the first year, when coming to the first year, so by way of seeing the above information, how much rent is received by the lessor ma? The lessor is going to receive only 1 lakh. But how much amount we need to book as income? 1 lakh 20,000 as per AS 19. Are you getting the point? So income is 1 lakh 20, but we are going to receive only 1 lakh. The difference of 20,000 is called as lease equalization. So what is the first year entry amma? Simple as such. So cash or bank account debit. How much we have received ma? 1 lakh. Okay now, what is the rent we need to recognize? To rent account, how much we need to recognize ma? 1 lakh 20,000. So what is the balancing figure ma? This 20,000 we need to transfer to lease equalization. We need to transfer to which account amma? Lease equalization account debit. So like that. I think did you get the first year entry? So I am going to explain the second year. You need to answer for the second year onwards. Can you say the second year how much amount we are going to receive amma? 1 lakh 10,000. But how much rent we need to book as a straight line basis? 1 lakh 20,000. 1 lakh 20,000. What is the difference amma? 10,000 need to be transferred to which account? Lease equalization account. So here cash or bank account debit. How much amount we have received in the current year ma? In the second year 1 lakh 20,000. But how much amount we need to book as income? Rent account every year how much amma? 1 lakh 20,000. Can you say the difference? The difference of 10,000 need to be transferred to the lease equalization. Account debit. I think, do you get the point? When coming to the third year, so third year actual rent issued also 1 lakh 20,000, And as per SLM basis also, how much summa? 1,20,000. What is the entry we need to write? Normal entry only. When coming to the third year, what is the normal entry we need to write, ma? Cash or bank account debited to rent account. There is no lease equalization because in the both the debit side 1,20,000, credit side also how much summa? 1,20,000. Okay, na guys. When coming to the fourth year, can you say, guys? So when coming to the fourth year, how much rent we have received? 1,30,000 we have received. But how much rent we have to book, ma? 1,20,000. Can you say the entry? How much amount we need to transfer to the equalization, whether we debit side or credit side? How much amount we need to transfer to the equalization in the fourth year? Come on guys, participate. We need to transfer how much amount? The difference amount of 10,000. That's all. So we are going to receive cash or bank. How much amount we are going to receive, Amma? Actually, we are going to receive actually 1,30,000. So cash or bank, how much? 1,30,000. So rent, how much we need to book, ma? To rent every year, how much? To rent every year 1,20,000 only. The balance figure will be on the which side, Amma? Credit side of rupees how much? 10,000 to, what is the meaning of this one, Amma? To lease equalization. Okay, na guys? So this is the debit. So can you say the fifth year entry? Fifth year, how much we are going to receive, ma? And coming to the fifth year, 1,40,000. But actually, how much we need to book? 1,20,000. So this time, how much amount we need to transfer to the lease equalization? 20,000. So cash or bank account debit to rent account. How much amount we have received totally? 1,40,000. And rent how much sum? 1,20,000 to lease equalization. To lease equalization account, how much sum? 20,000. Okay, na guys. So these are the entries we need to pass. If you see totally lease equalization account will be cancelled. Here how much sum? Debit 20,000 in this account and debit 10,000 in this. So total debit is how much? 30,000. 10,000 plus 20,000. When coming to here credit side, so here credit how much sum? 10,000 and here credit how much? 20,000. So if you strike off, all the account will be closed. Are you getting the point? So like this, we need to make the accounting treatment in the books of lessor. I think, do you understand in the books of lessee easy only? Okay, now we are going to start with accounting in the books of lessee. Accounting in the books of lessee. What is the entry, Amma? Normal entry we need to write. Payment, na? So what is the entry? Who is going to? Rent will be the expenditure. So rent account debited to cash or bank account. So first year, can you say the entry on your own, ma? First year, how much we have paid now? First year we have paid 1 lakh, but how much rent we need to book as expenses? We need to book as expenses how much? 1,20,000. So I'm going to take all this. Okay, now you can respond with me. So first year how much amount we have paid? 1 lakh, but how much rent we need to book, ma? 1,20,000. So you can say the answer easily. If you say, I will left with this one, so remaining they will record, no problem. I am having a nammakam on you. Okay na? So what is the entry, amma? Rent account debited. How much, amma? So we need to book the 1,20,000, but to cash our bank account, how much amma? 1 lakh only we have paid. So the balance of 20,000 we need to transfer to which account amma? To lease equalization. To lease equalization. Are you getting the point, ma? So like this you need to write. Can you see the second year? I can leave off. Second year we have paid 1,10,000. Yes, na? Second year we have paid 1,10,000. But how much amount we need to book? 1,20,000. Easy, yeah? So what is the entry, amma? Rent account debit. So to cash our bank account. How much rent we need to book? 1,20,000. Okay, na guys. But how much we have paid? 1,10,000. The balance 10,000 need to be transferred to lease equalization. I think you will get the remaining 3 years also, no problem. So like this we need to make the operating lease. Can you say, I will give one question, you have to say the answer. So be ready guys, get ready. Before that I will take a sip of water, amma. So nearly I am talking from 2.5 years, 2.5 hours. Okay guys, I will show you the question. So this is the question related to operating lease. You have to say the answer. So here Arun Limited has taken equipment on which lease, amma? Operating lease for upcoming 5 years. As per the agreement with the lessor, it was not make the payment for lease rental for first 2 years. What is the lease term here? 5 years. But the payment was not done for how many years, amma? First 2 years, and will have to pay 21 lakh each for the following 3 years. That means what, ma? Whatever you wish, if you want you can do whatever, you can take the rent, you can take the rent only at the end of the 5th year, whatever wish you do. But as per the accounting, as per AS 19, we have to follow the SLM basis, or which basis, amma? SLM basis. So advise the Arun accounting in the books, accounting for the lease rentals. Who is the Arun, amma? So we have to explain to the lessor. Okay, na? So what they are following, ma? Normally if you take, so they are taking a how many years lease, amma? 3, 4 and 5 years. First year there is no rent, second year there is no rent. When coming to the last 3 years, how much amount they are paying, amma? 21 lakhs here, 21 lakhs here, 21 lakhs here. So can you say the total amount? 21 plus 21 plus 21, that is equal to 63. Yes or no, ma? So 63 lakhs is the total rent. So whatever you want, you can pay. We can collect the total 63 lakhs on the 5th year also, but we need to apply the SLM basis. Can you say the rent for each year? No, easy only, na? So as per AS 19, so 63 lakhs divided by how many years we need to write, ma? We need to write the 3 years, we need to write the 5 years. So we also take a sip of water. Okay, you can also take a sip of water, no problem. Thank you for asking permission. So 63 lakhs divided by 5 years, how much we are going to get? 63 lakh divided by 5. I will do, no problem. 12 lakh 60,000. So that means every year how much rent we need to book, ma? 12,62,000. So the process they are maintaining is wrong or right? Wrong. Every year how much? 12,60,000. Can you say the first year entry? Can you say the first year entry in the books of Lessor? Rent is an income. Okay, first year whether he is receiving any rent? No. So what is the entry we need to pass? Lease equalization account debited to rent account. So we have not received anything. For that reason, for the first year, 12,60,000 totally we need to transfer to which account? Rent equalization. Are you getting the point? So like that we need to do. Can you say the second year? Same na. Second year also same entry repeat. So entry, I am having one of the possibility to copy paste. If you want, you can also copy paste. If you're having option, you can also do the same thing, guys. So second year also same. When coming to the third year, can you say the third year entry? I will close this one. So how much rent we have received? 21 lakh we have received. But how much rent we need to disclose? 12,60,000. What is the balance amount? So 12,60,000 minus 21 lakh. That is equal to 8,40,000 we need to transfer to the rent equalization account. So simple. Cash or bank account debit. How much? 21 lakh to rent account. How much we need to book every year? 12,60,000. Just a second. 12,60,000. What is the balance amount? 8,40,000. We need to transfer to which account? To lease equalization. Like this, you need to pass the entries. For the fourth year, how much amount? Fourth year also same, sixth year also, fifth year also same. The same entries only will be repeated for the fourth and fifth. This is the fourth year. This is the fifth year. The same entries will be repeated. If you want, you can check. So fourth year. And fifth year. When coming to the, these are the in the books of Lessor or lessee? Lessor books. So they asked us to in which books? Lessor books only. In the lessee book, same or reverse? Reverse will be there. So like this, we need to do the operating list. Sir, sometimes they will say special cases also. When coming to the same operating list, they will give the special cases. They will give what? You have to compare with output. You have to compare with output. So you will get the clarity. Wait. Nothing is mentioned SLM basis. If nothing is mentioned, what? Nothing SLM basis we need to do. If they have given what? Output proportion means we have to give the output proportion. So sometimes we have to book the lease rent not in the ratio of SLM, but in the ratio of what? Output that is expected to be derived from the leased asset. So if you take here example, till you given the machinery to the rent, machinery on the rent, for how many years? 3 years. On the output estimated from the mission is, first year how much output? 10,000 units. Second year 20,000 units. Third year how much? 30,000. But here annual lease rental is how much? 40,000 per annum. If you do the SLM also same you will get. Yes or no? 40,000 per annum means how many years? 40,000 into 3 years. That is equal to how much we are going to get? This 1,20,000 Now we should do like SLM, we should compare with the output. We have to compare with this output. We need to, because here we are having the base of output. So this is the special case they may ask in the examination. Okay, now how we will do? So I will say the amount of rent we need to derive for each year. Entries you need to pass. I know you know how to pass the entries. First we need to calculate what, ma? So total rent. Can you say the total rent, ma? The total rent is equal to 40,000 per annum into how many years, ma? 3 years. So that is equal to how much? 1,20,000. This 1,20,000, now we need to do the SLM also, means how much we are going to get? 40,000, 40,000, 40,000. Now we need to apportion it on the base of what, ma? Output. So this 1,20,000 we need to divide into the how many years, ma? 3 years. So based on the output. Can you say the first year output, ma? First year 10,000 units, 20,000 units and 60,000 units. So how we can do 10,000 units, 20,000 units and 30,000 units. 10,000, 20,000 and 30,000. So how we can make, sir? First, here in this, what is the calculation means? 1,20,000 rupees divided by total all these things, ma. What is the total production? 60,000, na. So divided by 60,000 units into 10,000 units. So how much we are going to get here? Can you say the calculation, ma? Simple, ma. Simple. So 1,20,000 divided by 60 means how much, ma? 2 rupees per unit. 2 rupees per unit into 10,000. How much? Here 20,000 is the rent. In this year, what is the calculation, ma? 1,20,000 rupees divided by 60,000 units into 10,000 units. Sorry, here 20,000. Here how much, ma? 20,000 units. So can you say how much we are going to this year? 40,000 rupees. Yes or no, ma? So here how much? Sir, this presentation for your understanding purpose, not workout. You can do this presentation in the examination also, no problem. So 1,20,000 divided by how much, amma? 60,000 units into 30,000 units. I think you understand the concept. So how much, amma? 20, 20, 20, 60. For the first year, 20,000 rupees is the rent we need to transfer to the P&L account. Second year 40, third year how much, amma? 60. So like this we need to do the apportionment. This is called as total rent. So I think you got the picture about this one. If they given the output basis means we have to apportion on the base of output. So but as per our board book they have given only what, ma? They have given only the SLM basis treatment. I think you understand the concept about the operating this. Sir, totally I have discussed how many questions, 2 questions from the workbook. The remaining questions why I have not discussed means because I have explained you how to do those questions. So when coming to the financial lease, what is the first step? We have to find out the present value of minimum lease rentals. What are the steps, ma? Year, lease payments, present value factor. If you multiply with the present value factor of lease payments, you'll get the present value. You'll get the present value things. Okay, na? I have explained all these things with a similar manner. If you listen once again, you will get the clarity. Sir, last thing is there. Okay, I am not going to forget the last thing. What is the last thing, ma? Sale and lease back. So the most important point in the examination point of view also, they may ask this question. So please wait. This is the last concept. So please give me 30 minutes or 20 minutes. That's all. I will complete this discussion and I will wind up the section. I know this is the lengthiest video for the AS19. Why I am discussing this much slow means if you want, I will explain one clear question from the financial lease perspective from our board book also. If you wait, I will be with you. Okay, na? Please respond, guys. Then only I will get what ma? I will get familiar with you and I can sit longer time. Even if I want, I can sit from here 2 hours also. Okay na? So what is the concept ma? Please listen carefully. Sale and leaseback. Sir, here our objective is to not the leaseback point of view. Our objective is to find out the profit or loss on sale. Our objective is to find out what ma? Profit on loss. And our objective is to what ma? That profit or loss, whether we need to recognize in the current era or whether we need to what ma? Whether we need to deferred income or deferred expenses. So before going to discuss this concept, I need to explain what ma? What is the accounting treatment for the deferred income and deferred expenses? I think you know, but also why I am taking the chance. So I will explain. So deferred income. Deferred income. Can you say the meaning of deferred income? Ma? Anyone in the class? So whether online or offline. Deferred income means we are getting the income in this year, but the benefit will be more than this year. Okay, nothing but we can call it as prepaid expenses also. Deferred income. So we have received the total income related to 1 lakh. What is the total income we have received? 1 lakh. Sorry guys. Just a second. Total income is equal to 1 lakh. But we are getting a benefit. But we are getting what ma? Benefit in how many years means 5 years. So this is called as what ma? Which type of income? Deferred income. So here benefit 5 years na, we need to apportion this income as how many years ma? For 5 years. So for 5 years, what is the income for each year? Can you say? 1 lakh divided by 5 years, that's equal to how much ma? 20,000 per year is the benefit. So every year how much amount we need to recognize as income ma? We need to recognize 20,000 as an income in the P&L account every year. So whatever the amount we are going to transfer to the P&L account, that is called as what ma? Amortization. That is called as what ma? Amortization. Whatever the amount you are recorded in the balance sheet, sir, in the balance sheet that income is called as what ma? Capital receipt, like that. We need to show in the liability side. So in the first year, benefit for how many years ma? More than 1 year up to 5 years. In the first year, how much amount we need to transfer to P&L account? In the P&L account, credit side by income, we need to write 20,000. What is the remaining amount ma? That remaining amount we need to transfer to where ma? Balance sheet, liability side, but not record on the asset side. That is called as what ma? Capital receipt, like that. So liability side, deferred income, that is equal to what is the remaining amount? 1 lakh, sorry guys, 80,000. This is the first year scenario. Here this 20,000 we are going to call it as what ma? This 20,000 is called as amortization. Okay now, this 80,000 is called as what ma? Unamortization. Nothing but amortized amount and unamortized amount. Can you say the second year scenario? Guys, second year, in the P&L account same ma? In the P&L account same. Which side we need to record in the P&L account? Credit side by income. How much amount? Same 20,000. Every year how much amount we need to transfer? 20,000. When coming to the liability, balance sheet, liability side how much? Deferred income. Already we have transferred 20,000 to P&L account in the first year. and again 20,000 to the P&L account in the second year. Now what is the balance? Nothing but 1 lakh minus 20,000 minus 20,000. That is equal to how much, Amma? 60,000 is the balance. Now can you say the amortized amount total? First year 20,000, second year 20,000. What is the total amount, Amma? Total we have amortized 40,000. What is the unamortized amount from up to here? Up to here 60,000 is the unamortized amount. So this is the accounting treatment for what, ma? Deferred income. Can you say the accounting treatment for the deferred expenses, Amma? When coming to the deferred expenses, in the P&L account, which side we need to record? Debit side. When coming to the balance sheet, which side we need to record, ma? Asset side. So that is called as a deferred expenses accounting treatment and deferred income accounting treatment. I will give the example for the deferred expenses also, no problem. If you understand this one, the topic will be completed very easy. Deferred expenses. The same example I am going to take, ma. Total expenses is equal to 1 lakh. Benefit of expense is equal to 5 years. Can you give the example, sir? At the time of discussion of capital and revenue transaction, we have discussed what, ma? We have discussed one. The example is called as there are underwriters. Underwriting commission is a deferred expenses. Okay, na? So what is the amount we need to transfer to P&L account, amma? So 1 lakh divided by 5 years. That is equal to same amount of rupees. How much? 20,000 every year we need to transfer to P&L account. Can you say the first year adjustment? In the P&L account, which side? Debit side. 2 expenses. How much, Amma? 20,000. In the balance sheet, which side? Liability side or asset side, Amma? Asset side, it is called as a capital expenditure, like that. So deferred expenses, that is equal to how much, Amma? 80,000. Sir, here 20,000 is called as amortization and unamortization, Amma? Amortization. And 80,000 is called as unamortization. Okay, na? These are the things you need to remember, ma. So amortization means amount transferred to the P&L account. Unamortization means amount available in the balance sheet. So when coming to the deferred expenses, P&L account debit side, and what is the benefit we have not received, we need to transfer to the balance sheet asset side. Deferred income means P&L account credit side, balance sheet liability side. So this is the accounting treatment. That's all. So remember, for your sake, I told you. So this thing will be useful here, no problem. So what is the concept here? Sale and leaseback. So Tillu and Radhika. Here Radhika sold one particular asset, ma. And the same asset, the Tillu is going to lease back once again to the Radhika. So you know, both are having a connection like Tom and Jerry. Both are like same like a Tom and Jerry. So they will fight each other every time in the same way. So sale, and again it was what, ma? Leaseback. If the leaseback is happened on operating lease, on financial lease, what are the things we have to see? Sir, here the important point is not the leaseback. The important point is what, ma? On sale, whether we are going to get the profit or loss. Whether that profit or we need to transfer to the P&L account in the current era, or we need to transfer to the next years by way of deferred income or deferred expenses, like that. We need to decide that one. So what is our objective? Our objective is to the sale back. Our objective is to find out the profit or loss on such sale. Our objective is to find out the profit on such sale. Our objective is not to accounting for the lease back asset, not to accounting for the lease back asset. It's a simple concept, remember. So treatment for the profit or loss on the sale of trail transaction also discussed here. Sir, sale done and the lease back result to a financial lease. Sale done and the lease back result to what, ma? Financial lease means whatever the profit you are going to get, on such sale, profit or loss on such sale should be amortized over the lease term in proportion with the depreciation. Sir, you know what is the meaning of amortization? What is the meaning of amortization, amma? Amount transferred to P&L account is called as amortization. Amount transferred to the balance sheet is called as unamortization. So I will take the certain example, amma. So here the book value. I think you know the book value. Can you say the book value formula is nothing but original value of minus depreciation. Our book value is equal to 80,000, amma. Our book value is equal to how much? 80,000. So I have sold the value, nothing but sale value is equal to 1 lakh. Whether we are going to get profit or loss, ma. So which is sale, ma? Nothing but at the time of selling the asset, what is the book value in the Radhika books? 80,000. That particular asset sold to the Tillu how much? 1 lakh. Okay, now Radhika is getting a profit or loss? Radhika is getting a profit. That profit, what he can recognize in the current year itself. If it is a financial lease, means what we need to do, ma? If it is a financial lease, means that particular of 20,000. Sorry guys. That particular of 20,000, what we need to do, ma? We need to amortize over the life. Okay, na? How we can do the depreciation, ma? Based on two rules. What are the two rules, ma, here? So economic life or lease term, whichever is lower. For example, economic life is 8 years and lease term is 5 years. How many years you will do the depreciation? 5 years. So here also same. 20,000 divided by 5. That is equal to how much we are going to get, ma? So 20,000 divided by 5 means nothing but 4,000. Okay, now every year how much amount you need to transfer to the P&L account? 4,000. In the first year 4,000 we need to transfer to the P&L account, and remaining 60,000 we need to transfer to the profit, means what, ma? Liability side of balance sheet. First year 4,000, second year 4,000, third year 4,000, fifth year 4,000. So every year when coming to the every year, now unamortized amount should be disclosed in the where, ma? Balance sheet asset side or liability side? Balance sheet liability side. First year 16,000, 12,000, 8,000, 4,000, 0. Are you getting the point? So like that we need to make, if it is a financial lease or operating lease, amma. If it is a financial lease, how to find out the profit make? Okay, now sale value minus book value. That, okay, now that is depend upon which, ma? If the sale back is given on financial lease, means what we need to do? We need to recognize immediately. We need to transfer to the amortization. We need to follow the amortizer principle based on the benefit. So if the economic life is less, we will follow with the economic life. If the lease term is less, we will apportion on the basis of lease term. I think did you get the point? Sir, here, if it is a lease back is happening on the operating lease, sir, we are seeing whether that lease is given on financial lease or operating lease. We are not going to do the accounting treatment for the financial lease and operating lease. Already we know accounting treatment of financial lease and operating lease. Now we are going to find out that particular profit on the at the time of sale of asset. That particular profit we need to recognize immediately, or we need to do the amortization. If it is a financial lease, means straight away what we need to do? You should do the amortization as per proportionate with the depreciation. Depreciation means how many years the depreciation done, that many years you need to amortize. That's all. How many years the depreciation will do? Based on economic life or a lease term, whichever is lower, that many years the depreciation will do. I think did you get the clear picture about this thing? Yes or no? If you respond, then only I will continue the section. Guys, yes, do you got the clear picture about the financial lease? We need to recognize immediately the profit or loss, or we need to transfer, we need to amortize. We need to amortize. If it is the income, means P&L account credit side and balance sheet liability side. If it is expenses, means P&L account debit side and balance sheet unamortized portion will be the balance sheet asset side. Guys, okay na? Okay. So next we are going to see what, ma? Lease done. Okay, na, sale done and the lease back is going to on operating lease. Here we are having the three situations. How to find out the profit or loss on sale? Simple. Book value minus sale value only. Here also. Okay, na? So here, sale is done and the lease back is operating lease. Then what are the three rules, sir? We are having the three situations. First one is called as selling price equal to the fair value. Here we are having the three values in this situation, ma. First one is called as book value, and second one is called as sale value, and third one is called as fair value. We have to compare the sale value always with the which thing, amma? Fair value. If the sale value is less than the fair value or equal to the fair value, means it is called as correct thing. Yes or no? Whether if you want to sell the particular asset, you will sell at fair value, you will sell it above fair value, below fair value. Normally we will sell at market value. Fair value means what? Market value. We are selling a particular product means generally we will sell at a market value or lower than the market value. If you are selling at the higher than the market value means it is a wrong thing. It is a wrong thing. You are doing the correct thing means then recognize the profit or loss immediately. If you are doing the wrong means then recognize the profit or loss. You need to do the amortization. What is the wrong? Selling the asset on fair value or selling the asset on less than fair value. Selling the asset on fair value less than fair value, it is a correct. Selling the asset at more than fair value, it is a wrong. If it is a wrong, what you need to do? Amortization. If it is a right, what we need to do? You need to recognize whether the profit or loss within a year immediately. That means total amount of profit or loss you need to transfer to P&L account. If it is a profit, will be transferred to the P&L account credit side. If it is a loss, it will be transferred to the P&L account credit side. Are you getting the point? Loss means debit, profit means credit. I will explain you with some examples. Okay, Nama. So here, selling price is equal to the fair value. Right or wrong, Amma? Yes, they are doing the right thing. Market value, on that market value only they are going to sell. So then profit or loss on such sale can be recognized immediately or should be amortized? Can be recognized immediately. Profit means credit, loss means debit. See the example. Sales made on how much, Amma? 10 lakhs. The leaseback is happening on operating lease or financial lease, Amma? Financial lease means straight away what we need to do? Amortize. Operating lease means we need to see whether the fair value is equal to or less than or more than. So book value is how much, Amma? 8 lakhs. Selling value 10 lakhs and fair value 10 lakhs. So in order to identify the profit or loss, which two values are important? These two values are important, book value and sale value. So what is the book value, 8 lakhs? What is the sale value? 10 lakhs. We are going to get the profit or loss. We are going to get the profit. How much of profit we are going to get, 2 lakhs. The 2 lakhs immediately we can transfer to the P&L account credit side because this is the right thing. They are doing the correct one because they are going to sell it equal to the face value. I think did you get the point? So next case, what is the next case, sir? Selling price is lower than the fair value. Yes, they are right thing. Okay, now that means profit or loss on sale of that profit or loss can be recognized immediately. So here selling price is equal to 9 lakhs. What is the lease back? They are going to lease back at which lease, operating lease. So book value is 8 lakhs. Same example from. What is the selling price, 9 lakhs. What is the fair value? 12 lakhs. So here in this situation, so the difference between these two is equal to how much, 1 lakh. We can recognize immediately profit or loss, profit. Because what is the sale value, 9 lakhs? What is the book value? 8 lakhs. So here also 2 lakhs is called as what, profit or loss, profit. Here also immediately, here also what, immediately. Okay, na guys. Now the last thing is the important. But here in this situation, there is one note point, In the case of loss, the loss is compensated by the lessor. I will rectify this thing. The loss is compensated by whom? Lessor. If the loss is compensated by the lessor, then it should be deferred. What is the thing here? You know, the Tillu is having so much love on Radhika. Okay, na? At the time of selling an asset, to the Tillu, okay, now Radhika is getting how much? 10,000 loss. Imagine the book value is equal to 1 lakh. The book value is equal to 10 lakhs. What is the sale value here? 9 lakhs. What is the loss they are getting? 1 lakh is the loss getting by the Radhika. Okay, now, but Tilly is having so much love, less than love, so much love. At that point of time, compensate this loss. Who is compensating, Amma? Tilly is compensating. How he is compensating means, okay, now, at the time of lease payments, Radhika need to pay the lease payment. So imagine Radhika need to pay 15 lakhs of lease payments, but she is paying only 14 lakhs. And what she is saying, sir, Tillu, at the time of selling to you, I have got the loss of 1 lakh. I am going to compensate here. And Tilly accepted because he is having so much love. He cannot do anything. So this is a wrong thing. Okay, now this is a bullshit thing. Getting a loss means you have to suffer the loss. But again, she is asking to the Tillu means it is a right or wrong, Amma? Wrong. Always asking to the boys means wrong thing. Yes or no? So always asking to the lessor means wrong thing. What he need to do now? No, you are doing the wrong now. So you should not transfer that particular loss to the P&L account now itself. Okay, now if you transfer that loss, you will get the more profits. Yes or no? For that reason, more you will get the less profit, then the income tax will be less, like that. So what you need to do, ma, you should do the deferred income. You should do the defer. Defer means what, ma? You need to amortize the benefit. Okay, now benefit years. They will give the benefit years. That many years we need to amortize. Are you getting that? So how many years we need to amortize means lease term over the lease term. If the lease is 5 years, 5 years you need to amortize. If the lease is 4 years, 4 years. If the lease is 3 years, 3 years. Are you getting the point? Here the Radhika is doing a wrong thing. If he suffer the loss means he has to face. She would not ask to the lessor. So if that point is happen means amortize. Otherwise, what we need to do, recognize immediately. So they will give that point in the examination, no problem. We need to solve one question. If you solve that particular question, whatever the doubts you are having in your mind, totally will be completed. Okay, na? Please give me time. So here the selling price is more than what, ma? Fair value. The selling price is more than the fair value means you are doing the bullshit thing. You have to sell at a MRP or less than MRP. It is fine. You are selling like a more than MRP means what, ma? We are going to accept it. Whatever the profit you have got, difference between these two, you need to amortize. You need to amortize. What is the selling price are here? 12 lakhs. What is the lease of leaseback? Leaseback is operating lease. So here, what is the actual value, amma? 8 lakhs, 12 lakhs, and 10 lakhs. Here, what is the actual profit? When you see the actual profit, 12 lakhs minus 8 lakhs, that is equal total profit of 4 lakhs. But here, we need to see what means the differences between these two things. Whatever the profit you have got, how much of profit, amma? 12 lakhs minus 10 lakhs, that is equal to how much, amma? 2 lakhs. You need to amortize. The differences between these two, how much of these two difference, amma? Same 2 lakhs, yes or no? 10 lakhs minus 8 lakhs. These differences, what we need to do? You need to recognize immediately. That means from the total profit of 4 lakhs, 2 lakhs should be recognized immediately and 2 lakhs should be transferred to what, ma? Should be amortized over its lease term. So what is the difference, ma? Differences between these two means amortize over the lease term. Differences between the book value and the fair value means recognize immediately. 2 lakhs need to be recognized immediately and 2 lakhs need to be recognized what, ma? Amortize over its lease term. I think, did you get the point or not? What is the unfair? 2 lakh is the unfair. What is the fair? These two remaining 2 lakh is the fair thing. Are you getting the point? So like this you need to do. Okay, na? So profit for differences between the fair value and the book value is called as what, ma? Normal, fair thing. What we need to do? What we need to do means these 2 lakhs we need to recognize immediately. The differences between the sale value and the fair value is a what, ma? Wrong thing. The wrong profit, what we need to do? We need to defer the profit over its lease term. Okay, I will write here clear sentence. Over its lease term. Are you getting the point, ma? So like this we are going to solve one question. So please wait a second. I will show that question. This is the final question. So question number 3 from the board book, or you can utilize this one also, no problem. Okay, you have to find out whether the profit or loss, first profit or loss, and next one what, ma? Recognize immediately or transfer or amortize over its lease term, you need to identify. Okay guys, I'm going to start. PQ Limited sold machinery having a WDV value of how much, ma? 80 lakhs. Here the book value is equal to how much? 80 lakhs to BR Limited. Rupees how much, 100 lakhs, and the same machinery was leased back to BR Limited. So what are the parties here? I will write the clear picture. So PQ Limited is one of the party. What is the second party, amma? Having a machinery WD value to BR Limited. So first BQ Limited sold, ma. Okay, na? This is a sale. And again BR Limited given what, ma? Lease back. This lease back on which base, ma? Operating lease or financial lease, ma? Operating. They will ask only in the operating lease Financial lease, what we need to do, whether you are getting a profit or loss, what you need to do, you need to amortize over its lease term. What is the profit or loss? Lease back on operating lease. Okay na guys, so can we solve now? See this question easily. First case, selling price is how much 100 lakh is equal to the fair value. Sir, selling price equal to the fair value means case number 1 or 2 or 3 selling price equal to the fair value means case number 1. Sir, no? So I will write here first one. Sale price is equal to how much 100 lakhs. So the same format you can write. First which value at the example, book value. Book value is equal to how much? 80 lakhs. And next selling price is equal to how much 100 lakhs, nothing but 1 crore. What is the fair value Fair value is equal to same equal. Then we are getting any profit or loss we are getting a profit. The differences between these two is called as what profit of rupees is equal to how much 100 lakh minus 80 lakh, that is equal to 20 lakhs. Whether this thing immediately we need to transfer to P&L account or amortize immediately we can transfer to the P&L account, because this is what less than fair market, less than or equal to fair market value, immediately we can transfer to the which one so immediately we can transfer to P&L account credit side. I think did you get the point clearly? So I will write the P&L account credit side. Okay guys, so second one. So what is the second point fair value is equal to 120. Okay now, what is the selling price 100 lakhs. What is the book value? 80 lakhs. Sir, less than fair value or more than fair value now also less than fair value. Yes or no? Because here the fair value is more. The same or different same. I'm going to copy it. Okay now. Same. But here when coming to the book value, how much sorry, fair value how much? 120 lakhs. Sir, here also, what is the which case Case 1 or case 2 Case 2. Because they are going to sell at a more than fair value. The difference between the book value and the selling price is equal to how much 20 lakhs. Immediately transfer to the P&L account, which side credit side. I think, do you understand the point? So first one is called as equal to fair value. Second one is called as more than fair value. So now I am going to see the third one. Fair value is equal to 90 lakhs and selling price is equal to 76 lakhs. They are going to sell at a less than fair value but less than cost also. Okay, now I am going to see this one. What is the third point Can you say the book value? 80 lakhs. Can you say the selling price? Selling price is equal to how much Selling price is equal to 76 lakhs. Fair value is equal to how much? 90 lakhs. Sir, offline coaching is available. June 2025 or 2026 amma, I think 2026 available amma. I think you got the typing mistake. So sir, here also less than fair value or more than fair value amma? Less than. So less than means what we need to do ma? Less than means immediately transfer, but differences between these two is called as what ma? Loss they are getting. Yes or no? Book value is more and selling price is less. What is the loss they are getting amma? 80 lakhs minus 76 lakhs, that is equal to how much? 4 lakhs is the loss where we need to transfer amma. So immediately transfer to profit and loss account debit side in the current year itself. Are you getting the point? I think, do you understand the three cases? When come to the fourth case, what is the fourth case ma? Fair value is equal to how much? 80 lakhs. Selling price is equal to how much ma? 100 lakhs. So you are more than fair value or less than fair value? More than fair value. Okay na? No, I need to discuss this one. Book value is also how much ma? Book value is also 80 lakhs. So come to the fourth one. Book value is equal to the 80 lakhs. Selling price is equal to the 100 lakhs. And next one what ma? When coming to the fair value is equal to 80 lakhs. Now whatever the difference, sir, differences between these two is how much? There is no differences between these two. Okay na? There is no difference. Whatever the difference you have got, these two, 20 lakhs is a gain or loss ma? It is a gain. What we need to do ma? We need to amortize over lease term. We need to amortize over lease term. They are given any lease term ma? They did not given any lease term, so we have to write the comment, that's all. So what we need to do ma? Immediately amortize over lease term. Gain means, so for example I am going to take 20 lakhs. The lease term is equal to 5 years. That is equal to how much ma? Each year 20 lakhs, 5 fours, 4 lakh is the each year. Okay now first year P&L account credit side how much ma? 4 lakhs, and remaining 16 lakhs will be on the balance sheet liability side. So like that. Second year 4 lakhs, 12 lakhs. Third year 4 lakhs, 8 lakhs. Fourth year 4, 4. Fifth year 4, 0. Like that we need to take. I think you understand the concept. So next, fifth one ma. So what is the fifth one ma here? Fair value 92 and selling price 100. Book value 80. So now we need to see somewhat different will be there. Case number 5. Book value same ah? Book value is equal to how much 80 lakhs. Can you say the selling price? Selling price same I think so, 100 lakhs ah? Selling 100, fair 92. Selling 100 lakhs, fair 92. Sir, now this is a last case. Yes or no? Last case means case number 3. Okay na? What they are selling ma? Selling at a more than fair value. Differences between these two, what we need to do ma? Immediately amortize. Differences between these two, what we need to do ma? Immediately. So we have to see the two differences. Okay na? Differences between book value and the fair value is equal to how much 92 lakhs minus 80 lakhs. Gain or loss first. How much we are going to get? 12 lakhs. So 12 lakhs is the gain. Immediately transfer to P&L account. This is the correct profit, right profit. This much only we need to say. This much amount of profit you need to realize, but you are getting a more profit. So immediately transfer to P&L account. So next, differences between fair value and selling price. So what is the selling price, ma? 100 lakhs. What is the fair value? 92 lakhs. We're getting a gain of 8 lakhs. What we need to do this gain of 8 lakhs? So we need to amortize over its lease period. We need to amortize over its lease period. And final one, ma, last case. Sixth one. What is the sixth point? You need to understand very carefully because somewhat difference will be there. 70 fair value, selling price 78. Book value is equal to 80. When coming to the selling price is equal to how much, Amma? Can you say the selling price? 78 and 80. 78 and 70. 78. When coming to the fair value is 70. So this is the most important point. How we can see? So this is also selling price is more than fair value. The differences between these two, we're getting a gain of rupees how much, 8 lakhs. The differences between these two, we're getting a loss of rupees how much, 10 lakhs. If you net off, we're getting what, ma? Loss of rupees 2 lakhs only. So what we need to do this one, ma? Differences between book value and fair value. That is equal to how much, ma? 80 lakhs minus 70 lakhs. So that is equal to 10 lakhs is the loss. Yes or no? Book value is more, fair value is less. If we sell the asset at a fair value, we are going to get the loss. Yes or no? So immediately transfer to P&L account. Okay, Nama. The differences between fair value and selling price. What we need to do, ma? So fair value is 70. Okay, we can take the 78 lakhs minus 70 lakhs. That is equal to how much, ma? 8 lakhs is the gain. Amortize over its lease term. Sir, normally if you compare, normally we need to compare with these two items only. So book value is how much, 80 lakhs and 78 lakhs. What is the net loss we are going to get? 2 lakhs. Here also the gain of 8 lakhs and the loss of 10 lakhs. What is the net value of loss we are going to get? 2 lakhs. So but we need to show this accounting treatment because he has sold at a more than fair value. So the last point is very important. You need to understand. So when will be the loss, ma? Book value is more means loss. Fair value is more means gain. Sale value is more means gain. Fair value is less means also gain. Okay, na? So these are the most important question. So we have seen all the questions we have discussed in a very careful manner. So you have to practice the questions from the board book. accounting in the books of lessor and accounting in the books of lessee, mainly in the form of what ma? Financial lease. The operating lease, you know, operating lease SLM straight line basis we have to do, or how we have to do ma? Straight line basis only we have to do. If they given the output ratio means we have to apportion on the base of output. First we have to calculate the total rent and we have to make the apportionment. So based on the operating lease we have done the question number 1 is sufficient, no problem. Those questions are sufficient, do not require any type of questions. And we have discussed the sale and leaseback, and also we have discussed what ma? We have discussed one question, one miscellaneous question. What is that one? In that question they will not give what ma? They will not give the lease rental per annum. At that point of time, what is our assumption? Our assumption is to fair value of asset. Fair value is equal to what ma? Present value of minimum lease rentals plus present value of unguaranteed residual value. We know the fair value. They will give in the question. They will give the unguaranteed residual value. You have to bring that present one. Then we'll get the present value of minimum lease rentals divided by annuity factor. If you apply, then only we'll get the lease rental per month. Then we have find out the gross investment, and present value of gross investment is net investment. So differences between these two is called as unended finance income. At that point of time we have discussed about the present value of minimum lease rental must be substantially equal to the fair value. So these are the things we have totally done. What are the 5 conditions? Can you say? The first condition is called as what ma? We are going to sell that particular asset after completion of that lease term. Second condition what ma? At a cost less than the fair market value we are going to sell. And next one, third one is called as what ma? Third one, more than a major economic life. Major means how much ma? More than 75%. And fourth one, present value of minimum lease rentals must be substantially equal to the face value of said. Which one is called as specifications. If from that 5 conditions, if any one condition is satisfied, it is called as what ma? Financial lease. Otherwise it is called as operating lease. So we have discussed all the things. If you are having any doubt means you can revise this question. Okay, you can revise this video. This video is available in this channel itself. Go to the live sections. Go to the live sections. The video will be available. And next one, if you want to get these materials means you have to go to the Shikara Tutorials website. So where the Shikara Tutorials website means I will show you more. You have to open the Chrome or whatever it is, whatever the browser you are using. For opening, please type the Shikara tutorials.in. So there is a presently offer is going on ma. So what is the offer percentage means I will show you once again. These are our faculties, our final faculties on all these things. Okay namma. So go to the free resources. In the free resources the CMA intermaterials will be there. The CMA intermaterials of 6 my own material I have given you. So you can use whatever you wish. And next, if you want the handwritten notes means here they will available the handwritten notes. So totally we have uploaded the 7 concepts. In the previous day we have uploaded the branch and department of the regular class amma. For your sake, most of the students are asking the branch and departmental accounts. I have released the regular class totally 11 hours. Okay, you can put the 2x speed and you can listen. And there I have explained you the debtors method and I have explained you the stock and debtors method concept immediately. There onwards, and again I have discussed about the debtors method questions and stock and debtors method question. Okay na? So you can listen. That class is sufficient from the most important areas of the branch is dependent branches. Or the branch is what ma? Dependent branches. What is the meaning of dependent branch means? Debtors method, stock and debtors method. Next you need to focus on the independent branches. And finally if you are having town means then only focus on the foreign branch, otherwise it is unnecessary. Okay na guys? So in the next class I will discuss about the AS10. So tomorrow class at the time of leasing I will discuss about the hire purchase. No problem ma, I will teach that one also. So if you want these videos means you can available here itself. So these are the videos you can see here itself. Here they have not added a branch and departmental. You can see this channel. Okay, now please subscribe this channel for the more and more updates. So presently 25% a Deepavali offer is running on. If you want to purchase the UO classes or anything related to the final or inter, you can purchase. The offer valid is ending on 20th of this month. So please grab this opportunity more and more. So what I am saying is if you participate then only the class will be very nice. Okay, now then I can discuss the more and more topics. So this is an elaborate discussion from the which point of view ma? From the leasing point of view. This discussion is sufficient. You have to practice one question. Okay, take the question number 4 and do accounting treatment in the books of lessor and the lessee. Okay, now immediately after completion of this question and remaining all these questions I have discussed, no problem. So thank you for your participation and thank you for your love and support. So I will be with you until the examinations and I will come up with the MCQ section. So I forgot to discuss the MCQs. Okay, I will discuss in the MCQ section at last. Okay, no problem. So thank you. Have a nice day. So have a nice day. All the best for your success. Thank you.